Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on.
Hello and welcome to Ages of Einor. I am your humble stream host and not your dungeon master nor your keeper of dragons, Pixel, and I am pleased to present to you the On the Brink of Death, thanks to Bonnie Mama's loudmouth, third episode of Ages of Einor presents Descent into Avernus. First things first, you will notice today that, first of all, I'm in, there are no big boxes. We're all in the same size box, and there's a different number of them. I will be playing and not GMing as one of our no doubt iconic and illustrious player characters. And we are short one player this evening, McReese, who normally plays Raven, the tiefling, is coming back from convention, so will not be with us today, so it's just the rest of us. We will carry on. However, we do want to also thank DocRobert from the Bonus Moms Tavern server for jamming for us. And we will, of course, introduce everyone at the end of this, but we do have our usual housekeeping stuff off the top. So with that out of the way, obviously I'm not GMing this, so the map screens that we jump to, you will not be seeing secret GM stuff. You'll be seeing my player perspective and only what my character can see. With that in mind, however, I will just say this. If you happen to have played or read this adventure, please don't spoil anything in chat. The players will be hanging out in chat trying to interact, keep the stream fun, so don't be posting what kind of monsters are in the next room, please. That would not be very cool. Second, don't forget about rules. There's a lot of them in this game, and sometimes Robert's going to make a call about, the situation. Don't lose your mind in chat about it. We do have some homebrew rules that we're using alternate crit rules and an alternate rule for 15-minute short rests. I can talk today. Third, this is an open and welcoming space, so please do try to keep that internet toxicity nonsense out of here. Never a problem with you folks, but we do want to make sure people know that we don't put up with them being hateful or abusive in chat, whether that's to viewers or to the players regarding anything like their knowledge of the game or the rules, or the choices they make as their characters, or anything like that. Y'all are always great, but we do want to make sure that everyone's been warned not to be a weighing rod. Also, a reminder, we do release the show on YouTube, and it's a podcast after each episode during the following week, so if you miss an episode or have to miss part of it, don't fret. You can still catch it after the fact. If you need to be caught up for the next week, you want to watch live. Usually those are going to go out on Wednesdays at about noon. And then we'll go around and introduce ourselves, and then throw it to Robbie. So, I guess, should I start, or do you want to start?
Go for it.
Who's starting? Well, you guys know me. My name is Pixel. I will be playing our dwarven barbarian and #1 internet sad dad, Phoenix Brightgrin. You can also find me on twitch.tv/hammerandpixel, where I stream video games. Lately, we've been playing a lot of Elden Ring with Bonus Mom. It's been a ton of fun.
And I am Bonus Mom, and I am speaking to you tonight from underneath the bus that Pixel threw me under back at the beginning of the evening.
What?
And I will be playing for moments until possibly her imminent demise by friendly fire, Bonnie Mama, a human warlock, but she doesn't know it yet.
Is it, I just have to say, is it me throwing you under the bus when you laid down on the yellow lines? I mean,
every time. Yep.
Cam, go for it.
Well, I am Cam, or Neuromark, as some of you may know me. I am playing the ever-lovable Neil Boggs, the Goblin Wizard, friend to one Bonnie Mama. And I'm sure it's going to be interesting. Yeah. The cards have been played.
Kaylee?
I am, as some of you might be able to tell, under the weather a little bit. I'm Kaylee or Christy. I play the completely untouched Air Genasi sorceress, Temperance. And you can find me on Tuesdays over at Reality Break 20, which is another D&D Twitch stream. We're continuing a series of one-shots over there, so it's a good time to kind of jump. Actually, I think we're wrapping up one on Tuesday, and then we're going to start another one, which I'm actually DMing the next one for the first time, which is very exciting. And also Kaylee 1999 over on TikTok, where I talk about a lot of books and things. So I will not be doing a voice for Temperance today because I can barely do my own voice.
And last but not least, I am Robbie, or DocRobert, depending on how you might know me. I am not only your GM/DM, but I will also tonight be running Temperance. Or not Temperance, Raven, the other one. Sorry, I'm not making Temperance be double played. I'll be running Raven, as I wish our players to not die, and we need all the firepower we can get. If you could run the show for just a second here, Pixel, I am having tech issues once again. So let me unplug and replug in my mouse.
Okay. Well, one thing I forgot to ask was who has chat inspiration and who doesn't. Phoenix does not have chat inspiration. He famously blew that on, I think it was death saving throw that he failed at the end of last session. So he is, I believe, chat inspirationless. I tried to go back and rewatch the end of the stream to double check. What about everybody else?
I have it.
You do have, was that have it or haven't?
I do have
You have it,
chat
okay.
inspiration.
My issue is fixed, so I are good to go.
I believe
If you see me dive out of the
as
camera,
well.
I will have to be unplugging and plugging my mouse back in.
Gotcha. And
Because I used my DM inspiration.
so Cam has it.
I do not have chat inspiration.
Okay. Well, it's up to you, DocRobert.
All right.
Take her away.
With that, our wonderful crew last time discovered a crypt, a dungeon, you might even say, in through a secret tunnel in a bathhouse. Working their way through the bathhouse, they discovered a few things. The first being a man being tortured by some very, very mean people. After having dispensed with them and met a curious and very pale elf who they released back into the wild, they rounded the corner where everyone started kind of discussing how they wanted to tackle the dungeon, as there were a few directions they could go. Bonnie, moving down this way and recommending that everyone follow her, saw as someone came out and cast a necroball, a necrotic fireball at the group, nearly knocking them out. Thanks to some healing by, well, basically everybody, and some very good hits from Phoenix and Bonnie as well, they were the threat was dispensed, but not without great risk to their life. So, with that, I am going to throw it back to the party as you sit there in the dungeon. This is moments after your fight has finished. So nothing has really happened except for the fight has just ended.
I just want to say, Temperance, you have inspiration from chat as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually they credited it to you twice, so I have to go fix that.
Thanks. Thanks, chat.
All right, with that, what are you guys doing post-fight?
I think that the first thing Bonnie would have done would have been scrambling around in the water she was in the hallway looking for Neil, because she knew he went down, scrambling frantically to get Neil and pull him up out of the water and probably back into the room that they were in.
So if you see, Neil's actually on the stairway, so he's right in front of you, so he's not in the water.
But he was.
So I actually got the killing blow in the last session.
Okay.
And I ran up there and magic missiled it in front of your face. So what I am going to do is Neil turns around, looks at Bonnie dead in the eyes. Please follow me. And I walk into the other room, and I reach into my backpack and start pulling a rope out of my backpack. And I'm pulling this rope, and as I'm doing it, I'm casting magic on the rope and pulling it through. As I cast Rope Trick to create an extra dimensional space for us to essentially hide in for the next few moments while we take a breather. And just look at Bonnie and point into the extra dimensional space.
All right, and Bonnie will step in.
Phoenix, after you. Temperance, Raven.
Phoenix looks at Neil. He's still sort of like just taking deep breaths, sort of panting a bit after the exertion of that, and says, when we climb up there, can anybody outside of it hear us?
Let me just check momentarily.
It's an extra dimensional space. No. Unless you open the door.
Unless you open the door. So, I would literally just explain. No, the reason that I cast such spell is so that we are in complete silence within these tunnels for the next few moments.
Temperance is gonna... Oh, go ahead.
No, he just says, very good, and climbs.
Temperance is gonna yank on the rope. Are you sure it's safe? I've never seen anything like this. All right.
It is 100% safe, bomb-proof, spell-proof, sound-proof.
She'll climb up then, but like hesitantly, like she's not really sure what's going on.
Oh, Neil, you're very good at this. This is just a lovely trick. My goodness, how nice it is. Are you all right? I know that you took... Oh, my goodness, this was so serious. I'm confused. I just really don't exactly know what happened here.
I'm completely soaked from head to toe. Completely drowned in water. I'll let Phoenix explain this one to you, Bonnie Mama.
Everyone is in, I assume, by the way? Okay, yeah, Raven also does, in fact, climb in.
Yeah.
First of all, while this is happening, do feel free to use your short rest rules as a reminder. We only do 15-minute short rests, so you do not have to spend a full hour in here, just 15 minutes. But do use your hit dice as necessary. I imagine many of you will want to do that. So go ahead, you will get this rest unimpeded, but while that is happening, feel free to continue talking.
I will need help with how to do that.
I can take care of it for you.
Thank you.
Bonnie?
Yes?
Do you want your friends to die?
What?
Or are you just stupid?
Beg your pardon? I have no idea.
You are not forgiven.
My
Let me ask you a question. If you were in your house, just being in your house, and somebody broke into your house to kill you, and you were, let's say, in your kitchen, just cooking stuff.
Muffins, most likely. A sausage.
Could you
roll.
tell me a way you might ascertain that someone had entered your house with the intent to do you harm? Just brainstorm for a second.
Well, I suppose I would hear them.
Let me ask you another question. Do you think that the people who live here have any less capacity to hear than you?
Well, I have no idea what is living in these places. Obviously, some very horrible and mysterious people. I have no idea what talents they have. But yes, I suppose it's...
Now, I don't particularly much care what happens to me, all right?
They heard.
But you seem to care for these people. You're wandering around in a place you don't know who's here, yelling at the top of your lungs. Somebody heard you and tried to kill us.
Is that what happened here?
Yes. These people, despite worshiping gods of murder and death and blood, actually don't want to die. So if we're gonna rectify that, they're gonna want to kill us first. So if we wander around announcing our presence, we're gonna wander into a bunch of people who are ready for us to walk into a place. Now, tell me, do you think it's easier to kill somebody who knows you're coming or somebody who don't know you're coming?
Well, I don't know. I haven't made it a habit to go around killing people. Is that what this is going to be from now on? You know, I never did exactly understand that thing that happened in the upstairs of the tavern before. Is that I thought we were going to be in charge of crowd control. I didn't know we were going to be going around killing people. Neil, I thought we were having an adventure. Now I'm very upset and confused, and you're talking very ugly to me.
Bonnie.
But I think I deserve it. What, Neil?
Phoenix is saying what he's saying because he cares.
It doesn't feel that way.
Now, when you tell me, when I have not cleaned properly, you tell me off. You do that because you care.
Well, I try to be gentle. Well, all right.
Unfortunately, we've learned a few things about Phoenix, and gentle is not one of them.
Well, this is unfortunately true.
However, I just almost died.
I know.
I don't particularly like being wet and dirty and unclean and in the middle of a pit under a bathhouse that I've never been to. Yes, I wanted an adventure. Yes, it's probably a little bit scarier than I expected. However, I still didn't want to die. Now, I know very little about a lot of things, but I do know that being quiet is usually quite helpful.
You're right, of course. Phoenix, I'm very sorry. Neil, I'm so sorry. This has all happened so fast, and I thought, Neil, we were just going for a little stroll through the city, and things have been happening, and I'm not as young as I once was, and I just didn't understand, and I'm so sorry. So can we just leave now? Please, can we just go back to my house and get clean clothes and...
Apology accepted, but as you are aware, and he kind of does this with his hands, where he's like kind of pondulating for a second. We signed up to this for a minimum contract of 5 years. I'm assuming you didn't forget that part.
I might have in the excitement of the moment.
Well, my suggestion is that we take a little rest and spend some time in this little space that I have created. Did you remember to bring the healing potions that you had told me about previously?
Oh, I believe so, yes.
Okay. Well, if you did, probably a good idea to hand those out to everybody so that everybody has access to them, so that some of us don't die.
Doc, I had one for everybody. Is that correct? I'm still...
2 for everybody, actually.
I had 2 for everybody. Okay, then I don't see them.
Yeah, I didn't put them in your inventory just because I knew you were going to distribute them out.
Okay, so great. So yes, I have them. So I have 2 for each person, and
Yep.
I would give them to them. And I would take advantage of the short rest. So everybody gets to add 2 health potions to their inventory. Okay, so how do I do I
already did it. Just refresh your page and it should be there.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I took care of it for Raven too.
Or
Raven does have some spell slots if you need a cure wounds, but you have the health potions too, so you're calling that one.
And that's just a common potion of healing, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, well, Phoenix is just with the hit dice. He's back up to 34 out of 35, so he's fine for now.
Okay.
And I'm there too now. Did I use all my hit points? Are they all gone now?
You used all of them, yeah.
Okay.
Used all your hit dice.
I'm actually going to use my final one as well, because I don't feel like I've got quite enough there.
Well, you can use that, or if you want to, or Raven can heal you. Your call. If you think you might need another
I'm going to
rest
go
later.
for using the. I'm going to go for using the hit points.
Okay.
3.
Temperance, how much did you need to heal?
I was untouched. I still have
There
my
you
2
go.
temp HP from the biscuits.
So, yeah. So,
During all that, Temperance would just be like using prestidigitation to kind of not like completely clean everybody, because obviously we're going to jump right back in, but get the worst of it off people's faces and out of ears and things like that. And just listening quietly and watching, probably watching Phoenix mostly.
And Bonnie, it also has to be said, several people almost died there, not least of all including you, I think. But you know the people down here have been crawling out of this hole, abducting people in your city, dragging them down here, torturing them and murdering them. So, if you want to go, I ain't gonna stop you. But we do have an opportunity here to stop some people doing some bad things.
Of course, you're right about that. And Neil is also right. I took on this responsibility. I had no true idea of what we are facing. I am truly sorry. I will be quiet, and I will pay attention. I want to share with you, Phoenix and Neil, Temperance and Raven. I am a very ordinary person, a weaver by trade. I lost my son several years ago and have been living here since then, just living my life. I was overjoyed when I met Neil and had a friend, a genuine friend. There are things happening in my life now that I don't understand. I reach out my hand and have my spatula, and mysterious and unusual things happen, and people are hurt. I occasionally have a voice in my head, and unlike this horrible experience, my voice is telling me that I'm doing well. I don't understand what is happening. I am in a state of total confusion. But I have a responsibility to all of you to do what I can, and I promise, to the best of my ability, I will do that. I just don't understand. I don't know what I'm doing. That should be obvious. I almost got us all killed. And that is my responsibility, and I will stand on that and do better. What do we do next, Phoenix?
Well, once we catch our breath here, we crawl out of this hole, and we keep walking through this muck-infested, nasty crap. And we keep fighting these people. And whatever else happens to be down here. We should probably develop a bit of a way of operating. It's useful to have someone keeping a lookout ahead. If we can communicate with simple hand signals, that kind of thing. You know, eyes, directions, numbers of creatures, that sort of thing.
I think at this point, Temperance would point at Phoenix, and you would hear in your head, I can talk without using my voice, but only to one person at a time. And you can reply.
Yeah. So Phoenix says, well, Temperance has just let me know that she can communicate silently with one person at a time, which is quite helpful in a situation like this.
How does that work?
You know,
Oh, I wouldn't know that. I'm sorry, take it back.
I don't know.
That wasn't said to me. I apologize.
No, I said that. I did say that to everybody.
He said it out loud.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
she
then
said something to
Bonnie-
me mentally, and then Phoenix told everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a very startled way, Bonnie says, how does that work to anybody?
And Temperance would point at her, and you would hear, I don't actually know. I just know that it does. And I can go through some walls if they're not too thick. And I can go pretty far as long as I know who I'm trying to find. Oh, and you can reply back.
Bonnie
He at
sticks
least
her
now
finger-
pointing his fingers at people.
Well, Bonnie is going to point her finger at Phoenix. Can you hear me?
Okay.
And you can.
Phoenix just like massages the bridge of his nose for a second and says, yep.
Do it too.
Oh, that's super helpful.
I don't know how. I wish I had known that earlier.
Well, at least we know it now. And since two of us can do it, that means we can communicate at least somewhat with everybody else. Although I will say I'm probably not the best person to choose as the front line. Scout type.
Yeah, I don't think we have anybody particularly incredibly well suited to that. Neil, you're probably not bad at it, but as a wizard, we usually try not to keep you folks in the front line, so that could get a little dicey.
I mean, I could be pretty sneaky, and I'm also could be rather fast when I need to be.
Well, all right. So,
Well, I think we could at least have sort of a, if someone puts their hand up, then either Bonnie or I could check in with that person who sees something silently.
A voice
that
from
way.
another dimension is telling me that there is also a small snake that we can use as a familiar in these situations.
Oh, that's right.
Somewhere traveling from some sort of
That is true. Yes, Raven would have Cleo pop out just look around. Yeah. Though I don't know if it has a swim speed. That's the only thing.
Depends on what kind of snake it is.
It's true.
Well, and the water makes sneaking hard anyway. I mean, we're all splashing around here.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Also,
I'm short enough to hide underneath it.
It should also be noted that part of what got us into trouble last time was splitting up. Some of us were off in one direction, other of us were off in other directions. In a place like this, it's best to stick together unless we can't avoid it.
I'll do whatever you want. I'll be in front, I'll be in back, I'll do whatever you want. You just have to tell me.
And we have some decisions to make. There are clearly... If I've got my head around the geography of this place right, and also just based on... These are some assumptions that may turn out to be incorrect. But as we came into this room, we seemed to be running into followers of... I don't remember if it was Bane or Ball.
I think it
One
was
of them.
Bane.
Well, right, so I'm not 100% sure that necromancer lady was, that didn't seem like Bane stuff to me. That seemed more like Merkel business. So I suspect that she was associated with, there were 3 doors. They must be connected back here somehow or something. So we've got 2 options. One is to go the direction she came from and just keep trying to clear the place. But if there's anybody else in this wing of the complex, they could ambush us from behind. If they come out of their holes and discover that we've killed all their friends in this weird little torture altar thing they've got going on. But that also runs the risk of us fighting things we might not necessarily need to. Right? If we just took out the leadership or just went through. So it's not a decision I'm going to make alone here, but we got to think about how we're doing this. What makes the most sense. It may be enough to just disrupt their capacity, but it also could be a cut the head off the snake and it regrows kind of a situation. Which I guess the bottom line is the question we were asking is do we need it to be safer for us or them? And he kind of points up, referring to the normal civilians, presumably a few dozen feet above our heads.
I think Bonnie's too demoralized. She wouldn't say a word. She's just sitting there quietly.
I mean, so I got a bit of a peek further down that corridor while you all were fighting that horrible necromancer. And it did look like there were a couple of other passages down there, although I didn't really get close enough to see how far they went. Or if there was anyone else down there, but I think it would make a lot of sense to check those out before we progress. Just so, like you said, we don't leave anyone at our backs.
Well, that makes sense to me. Any objections?
Bonnie shakes her head.
Okay. And Fenix climbs down the rope.
Temperance will follow.
So will Bonnie.
Right. With that,
And I will dispel the space and put the rope back in my backpack.
so just to remind you, some wayfinding on the map, since it has been a couple weeks since we have played. I'll ping some locations here so that you can see them.
I should go back to the map so people at home can see as well.
So you guys are obviously here in this room. Over here is the carcass of the ever so fun necromancer.
We need to loot that, by the way.
And back over in this direction is that the room that Temperance was in. And as a reminder of that, there was a methane sulfur smell in that room. So that your character would still be very much aware of, but is easy to forget. So
I forgot.
that's why I wanted to make sure and remind you. So obviously the pathway does seem to continue down that way. You did see some stairs over here, though you didn't get a good look. And then you saw another couple of rooms up here as well. So there's a lot of different directions you can go.
So yeah, I think as we get down, Fenix, speaking quietly, says, well, first things first, I think we should check out that corpse and see if she had anything useful or magical on her.
She might have some scrolls.
So, as you guys go over there, who's getting to the body first?
I think Fenix is maybe going to gesture for Neil to go, and then Fenix is going to kind of slot into position number 2.
Makes sense. So as you get up to the body, there's no check required because this is super easy. Neil, the first thing you will see is this big, nasty-looking book that is by her side.
Do I have any recognition of the book? Is it, obvious what it is at all?
I mean, you would guess a spell book because it doesn't have a title or any other sort of stuff on there.
Spell book, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am going to pocket that for... Oh my god, that looks so cool.
That is creepy looking.
Oh my god, I love it.
Are you looking through it?
Can I do an Arcana check on it first, just to see if there's any spell trapping or anything like that? That is a 14.
14? Yeah, there is definitely some evil hanging around this book. With that, you can just sense the evilness off of it. You don't know exactly what it is, but you don't trust it.
Can I establish that from that it's probably not the best idea to open this book?
Yeah, you would imagine that you would at least want to have some, maybe in a better time or place.
Okay, right. I am going to pop the book into my backpack.
Okay. Therefore, you won't know the spells that are listed in there, but other than that, whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay. The other thing that you will pull off of this may be of some interest to Phoenix.
Uh-oh.
As you see that on her side, she didn't have a chance to use this silver flail.
Good lord.
It is a silvered flail. So it's a flail that has been you would immediately know, Pixel or Phoenix, I guess. That being silvered will get through the defenses of a lot of creatures,
right?
Were creatures, infernal and otherwise. You've been an adventurer way long enough. No check required on that one.
Sure. Yeah, I think Fenix sort of looks at Neil and kind of gestures to it, and says, "Getting any vibes off of that one?" Just wants to make sure it's not cursed or gonna possess me.
That's a 9. That is not a.
Seems fine.
Right.
Nothing as far as I could tell, Phoenix. And I just kind of drag it.
It's like the same size as Neil.
Yeah. Fenix.
This is really heavy, Neil.
Fenix grabs it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is a silvered flail. You can add a silvered flail to your inventory.
I'm going to add that spell book to my inventory as well, actually.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay, Bonnie had crept closer to you all, remembering what was said about don't split up the party.
Mm-hmm.
But she's,
Raven's gonna stand here on the stairs.
But she's
over by
very
Tur- over by
cautious about it.
Temperance.
And she's very quiet.
So, big benefit of that, Phoenix, would be you can't two-hand it, but you could use a shield.
Right.
So, and this is something I haven't mentioned because it hasn't come up, but it will be important here. I do allow, you already have a bonus action that you can make, but I allow shield bashes as bonus actions as well.
Okay, gotcha.
So, that is a home rule that I generally allow, but it obviously hasn't come up here. So.
Okay. And looking at this mace, the picture there has like a skull with the spike sticking out of it.
That is exactly what it looks like. It is
Does
a
it-
silver skull.
Okay. Oh, so is it a silver skull, or is it like carved, or is it bone, or does it seem to be like
Well-
transmuted?
It definitely is silver.
Okay.
All of it's coated in silver. But with that 9 Arcana check, that's about all you can tell right now.
Okay. All right.
It's not the size of a skull.
Okay,
It's smaller. It's probably like, I'd say softball size, grapefruit size.
Interesting. Okay.
So if it's a head, it's quite a small one.
I would say it's Phoenix. If we have some spare time later, I could spend a little bit of time investigating it a little further to see if there is any further magical capabilities to it.
Fair enough. What's the condition of the body that we killed?
It is quickly decaying.
Okay, great.
It was.
I was just making sure we didn't need to decapitate this thing so it doesn't get raised against us or something.
Yeah,
Phoenix
it's
is
already
paranoid
falling
now.
apart.
Phoenix is like having flashbacks.
The official term of that is the double tap. So
Yeah, right. Yeah. Especially because we're in a tube like this. But yeah, I think Phoenix gestures to indicate that we should head the other way and start exploring up that methane hallway.
Ali, let's go.
Question I should have asked with regards to the methane hallway. What kind of lights are we currently using? Does anyone have cantrips, or are we all using torches? What's our thing here?
I have dark vision.
I also
believe
have
that I
dark vision.
I also have dark vision.
Yeah, and Bonnie doesn't, but has the light spell.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a cantrip light spell.
And I think Phoenix also just says, reminder, no fire spells. Strange smelling gases might be volatile. In a place like this, if it explodes, it's going to burn us and also possibly drop the ceiling on our heads.
Do we have a gas leak around here? I can't tell. Oh, sorry, no.
That is a very good reminder. Thank you.
Yeah. Bonnie, what is it that you would like to make glow with your light spell? Your spatula?
Of course. And,
I figured so.
Bonnie is just trying to figure things out. So she's thinking mightily. She has used the Eldritch Blast during this whole situation. Would she deduce that it's electricity, it's energy?
It's
that
force.
Yeah, it's force damage, but that should not trigger it. No.
But she would think, of course, that Sacred Flame would be a part of that.
Sacred Flame also would not. It is just light energy.
Would she know that? I'm trying to
Not
think.
necessarily, but
Yeah.
however, Temperance might, just for her more experience with that.
Okay.
Slightly more experience with that.
You've had the powers your whole life, so
That's true.
So yeah, it's basically just divine screw you energy. I mean,
Yeah, I think of it as
Screwy.
it's. I always think of it more as like, like a glow as opposed to a flame. So it's the light from something as opposed to like an actual open flame, like a flashlight versus an open flame.
But when Bonnie used her Sacred Flame, it actually looked a little bit like the gas burner on a stove.
yeah, that's true.
So I think Bonnie's thinking that's.
Fair enough.
She would probably be very cautious. She might. We'll see. We'll see what she does.
Okay.
But that is what it looked like.
Okay. Anyway, feel free. I am actually going to set Raven's token to be able to be moved by any of you in a second here, because that will make my life easier if someone could be in charge of doing that.
And is Raven is the one that's directly in front of me? The green? Raven is green?
Yeah.
Yes.
Temperance is purple?
So I'm actually going to pull her off the map here.
Okay. I feel like
So-
Bonnie's in the back just because I think she's stumbling along, very
fine.
confused.
All right. Okay.
And looking
cool.
over her shoulders a lot. Bonnie would keep her eyes on what's happening behind them, too. The
And,
whole thing
yeah.
about we could come from a different direction would resonate with her.
A voice
Yeah.
from another dimension is also telling us that that Raven may be able to jump back in after the break.
Yay! I can control Raven in the meantime. I think Temperance
Excellent.
and Raven are
buddies
friends and
anyway.
would be hanging out together anyway. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. All right. Feel free to move yourselves through the dungeon. I'll tell you or tell you what you see and reveal areas as you go.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
And of course, let you know if you need to make any checks.
I think I would be staying quite close behind Phoenix until Phoenix tells me otherwise. If he wants me to go ahead.
okay.
And I want to be like constantly looking back and like smiling at Bonnie to kind of reassure her, because internally I feel like Neil feels like he was probably a little harsher than he needed to be, but it was a very scary situation.
Something that
very
you would
scared.
notice in doing that is that Bonnie has always been very responsive to you, always had her eye on you. You knew, like in a crowd or whatever, because she was worried about you. She had her eyes on you. She is not paying any attention to you at all. It's like she doesn't even make eye contact. You can tell that she is thinking hard. Not that she's spaced out or anything. It's just
Yeah.
Bonnie is,
In her own shell right now.
yes, and really looks more behind her than even forward.
Yeah, so I think when we get to the corner here, Phoenix turns to Neil and just sort of gestures to have you check this stairway, since it's like the closest thing.
Okay.
Not that we're necessarily going to go up there first, depending on what we see in there, but it's like, if we start going this other direction and somebody can see us, they'll hit us from behind, so it's like we got to clear that first, right?
I give a little thumbs up above the water. Because the water's like up to here on me. Give a thumbs up.
Right, and
I'm
it's up to
gonna,
mine, like, what, waist or chest or something?
Yeah.
I want to like stealthily like move along here. If
Go ahead
that's
and roll that
possible.
stealth check. And I'll go ahead and say, because of the water being so high, you have advantage on not being seen. So
Okay.
stealth check and advantage, as long as you're in the
thank
water.
And Temperance will point in your direction and just message like if wave your hand if you need to convey information.
That is a natural 20 for a 25.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you
Nice.
actually don't even get to send your message. Well, you do, but you don't know where. You just like vaguely pointing because he disappears into
I don't
the
have
darkness.
to see him. I just have to kind of know what direction he's in.
That's true. So the message gets there, but you don't know where he is as he pops through. You can see around the corner into a little bit wider hallway here.
Okay. I'm gonna like wave my hand out towards the corner, towards Temperance or Bonnie, to kind of flag them down.
Temperance will say, "What? Anything important? What do you see?"
And Neil's voice, he points back at you, thinking that he's totally magic. And you hear him say, well, there's a small corner beyond the steps that seems to open up a little bit more. I think I'm going to step a few little steps further just so if I can peek around this corner.
She'll send back. All right, I will give you a minute or two, and then I'll send another message.
Okay. So I'm going to continue stealthing up a little bit more to this corner. And I want to be like kind of glued to the wall, like...
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and you are able to see a small room here. This room has a bit of a table in the center here, as well as you would see that it's actually even partially collapsed on the northern side. However, there is a stone altar with some humanoid skulls and bones piled around it. At the top of the altar is covered with a bunch of half-melted candles of black wax, all of which are currently unlit.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of peek my head down and just like gesture to like wave everyone towards me and do like a whisper like shh motion and just wave everyone towards me.
Yeah, head over.
Seeing Phoenix move forward, Bonnie follows him. She does seem to be paying attention to Phoenix.
Feel free to continue to move yourselves. I'll let you know if I need you to stop.
I'm gonna like gesture for Phoenix to come in front of me, so like to like overtake me.
I think Phoenix is gonna motion you back down the stairs. Actually.
Oh, okay. What's wrong?
Well, what's in there?
A grotty table that nobody's washed.
Okay, and then is that where the pathway stops, or?
No, there's another path on the other side.
Okay, I think we should finish checking these here before we head in there. If you didn't see anyone in there, you know, any people or monsters, then let's just check our 6 before we keep going.
There was, I will say, another hallway down on the other side here.
Yeah. So
but that's what Phoenix is kind of saying is like, if we start heading in here and we haven't cleared this stuff, then, you know, the same thing could happen to us that kind of happened to us before, right? It's like something could, you know, and he's maybe going to say like, okay, and he's going to like gesture at Temperance and Bonnie and like just sort of say, y'all stay here by this corner. We'll go just glance in those other areas, see what we're dealing with here. And sort of gesture Neil towards these other 2 hallways.
Okay. So I'm going to start heading up here quietly again and head towards this corner to see if I can see anything.
And Phoenix is going to kind of split the difference.
Wide hallway down that way, still water at about the same level.
And I'm going to kind of like head further along so I want to try and see if I can see like down further into the room from this angle.
Yeah. Sure can.
Yeah. And I'm assuming at this point we're probably coming into this gas smelling area as well.
You have been in the gas smelling area.
Okay, so is that all of like
that is all this room
upwards?
That you're here. Yep.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to kind of step back towards Phoenix. This is quite a large room. It goes back quite far.
Yeah, I wonder if it also doesn't connect up some other way, but let's check this last one.
Okay. And again, I'm going to go to this edge first to kind of like around the corner.
And this one looks like it actually may have led into a larger room at one point, but it seems as if it has totally collapsed. There's not a whole lot of interest up here.
I'm going to like hippity hoppity back down here. It looks like a dead end.
Okay.
There's some sort of rock fall.
All right, let's pop in here for a second, see what we can see. See if it ends at some point or just like goes all the way around the perimeter or something.
This one, are you meaning?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to come to this corner here to like peek around.
Okay.
I want to continue to stay as stealthed as possible as well.
Just keeps going.
Long corridor. Did I mention this is a big dungeon? You do see some stairs at the end, though.
Okay. I'll come back around again. It's a really long room, and there's some stairs at the end of it. It stinks. It smells like farts.
Okay, I think Fenix is going to motion us back together here for a brief little powwow to decide which way we want to go.
Methane powwow.
Yeah, methane powwow. He's going to point at these stairs that we went up first, and the fact that they turn what would be to the right for us, even though it's like to the left on screen. And he's going to say, well, just based on the geography, I don't know if those connect up with the other thing down there or not. It seems like this, and he points at the right turn, is like a whole other wing. So our choices are to kind of maybe loop back on a place we've already been to, but that also might connect up to where that necromancer lady came from, or kind of press on into a whole new area.
But that room looks, and I'm pointing back here, like to this room. That room looks like something's fallen down in there, and I'm just intrigued whether there's anything interesting, or whether that could be where this smell's coming from.
You talking about this one?
This, yeah, up here.
I mean, wouldn't take us long to check it out.
That's true. I'll follow your leads, I guess. I don't think it really makes a difference which way.
Bonnie shakes her head just a little bit, like she's kind of focusing in, and she's saying, do we feel safe with this methane smell? Is it, or do we think that it might get bad enough that it could hurt us? And if it is, why would they be in it? Because it could hurt them too.
Yeah, I don't know what any of us would know about what we're smelling.
I mean, you could
Smells
make
like rotten
a
eggs.
you could make a nature check if you wanted to give it a shot.
I think maybe Fenix turns and looks at Raven, the druid.
Yeah.
You know anything about this?
Except for that, don't forget, nature is an intelligence-based check.
That's true.
So,
I mean, listen.
so I'll roll for Raven.
Fenix is rocking a +0 here, too.
Okay,
Yeah, same.
Bonnie really is thinking about it. Okay, Bonnie really is thinking about, I mean,
That's good, 'cause Raven
she's,
doesn't know.
you know, she's a little bit older. She's probably lived around the occasional outhouse or whatever. And as far as nature is concerned, she rolled a 17.
She's clearly
Yeah,
seen a
so
gas stove
you-
before, too.
Bonnie.
So you say that, but it does. You're not exactly sure what it is. It doesn't smell like poison. It just smells like a gas buildup, sulfur/methane gas buildup. At the current rate, you don't think you should stick around here long. That might be a problem, but it isn't dangerous from a being poisoned standpoint, from best you can tell.
Okay, Bonnie would kind of share that. I'm just cautious. I've been
Yeah.
around an outhouse or two in my youth.
And it is more powerful than an outhouse, that's for sure. But it's not, it doesn't feel like, this doesn't feel like, it doesn't smell nearly as strong as you left the stove on and you're right next to it. It's
Okay.
somewhere between those two.
But she's also looking at little people with less body mass index too,
Yeah.
and you know she would
Yeah.
kind of be aware of that. So anyway, she just would have shared that information. Like we could go check something out, but we don't want to stay there.
And Fenix says, dwarves like me are resistant to poison anyway, so I think I'll be alright.
Do any of our magic users present, I certainly don't, but do any of us have the ability to move air?
Move air. Not really.
I have prestidigitation. Is that
That's
what you're asking?
That's about.
I think
the
you'd be
closest
looking for
I-
like a gust of wind or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Nothing from Raven either.
Closest I have is Mage Hand.
Do you not have anything from your air genasi stuff?
That's what I was gonna look for.
You should have
Let's
some.
see. I
I know air
have.
genasi definitely. has
You don't
some
get the
kind
big
of-
one until level 5, but you should have something.
I can hold my breath indefinitely.
Ooh, well, that's actually good.
And I don't have anything that's like a
Feather
gust of
fall
wind
is
or
what you
anything.
get.
Yeah, I have feather fall.
Right.
So I can jump off a cliff and I can hold my breath.
Don't know if you can hold your breath, then that's probably quite handy because it stinks. It smells awful.
Yes.
As a side note, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, as a side note, it also means you can, in fact, put the air genasi in a bag of holding.
Wow.
That is kind
Trying
of cool.
that later in the campaign.
I feel like noted.
Great. Good
Keeping
to
that in
know.
Hey, Temperance, get in the back.
I mean, if I need to hide. It's pretty
Anyway.
handy. Well, I was just going to say, if you want me to go check out that fallen rock wall that you mentioned, I can certainly hold my breath and do that. I don't know what I'm looking for, though.
Well, I was just thinking if the gas is coming through that fallen rocks, then we might be able to just plug it up.
You can check it out. And I guess Temperance will start walking in that direction. Not holding her breath yet, unless it gets really, really strong.
Okay. As you get closer, you definitely do smell it stronger. It doesn't smell dangerously strong. Go ahead and make me a perception check while you're at it.
Okay. 14.
14. With that, so you can definitely smell it. It does seem to be coming from here. And it is stronger. You don't know if it's dangerously stronger, but it definitely is stronger towards this direction. Mostly towards the cave-in.
Is there a way to like pinpoint a specific point in the cave-in, or is it just generally where the cave-in
just
is?
generally kind of seeping through the rubble.
Okay.
Seems like it may have busted into either a gas pocket or
Okay.
something.
She'll point her finger towards Neil and relay that information that it's definitely stronger over here, but there's not like one point to plug. It's like the whole wall, basically. So I think we should just avoid coming down here.
Oh, definitely don't go in there if it's super stinky.
Yeah. And she'll start coming back to the huddle. Well, do we want to go through more stinky water? Do we want to go down a bit of a drier hallway past the, what did you say, rotty table?
Oh, it was a bit grotty.
Grotty table.
Nobody washed it. It's got some candles on it.
Well, you're interested in the table. We might as well check that way.
I'm gonna sneak my way up again, up the stairs
And Fenix is just following a little bit behind, trying to stay out of the way.
into the room.
Bonnie is behind also.
Okay. Yeah, so feel free to go into the room if you'd like.
I'm scared to go in the room. I
I'll
want to
make it.
die.
Well, then don't die. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna go into the room.
Yes, you see this table with the candles on it, and then there's the the bones are kind of piled up around the altar, and then there's another passageway that moves on.
It's disgusting. They haven't washed it. I don't know how anybody would expect to eat dinner off this.
Don't think it's a dinner table. Can I tell by getting closer to the table if it's been used recently? Like if the candles have been used recently, or if they're like really old and have been sitting there for a while?
Sure. We'll call that a perception check.
We're gonna go with investigation. So I am slightly better at that. That's a 10.
You're not sure. I mean, the candles aren't lit. The wax isn't hot. I mean, that you can tell with a 10. So, but further than that, it's hard to tell.
So, what all is on the table? Is it just candles?
Yeah, right now it's the candles. I mean, there might be just like a quill or some other little stuff, but nothing of terrible note.
Oh, I'm gonna grab that quill, spare quill for later.
Yeah. Oh, and I there is in fact a flint, assumably for lighting the candles.
Right. Does this table, it doesn't have any, like, drawers or anything around it, does it?
No, it's an altar. It's more of an altar than a table.
Could I also grab that flint?
Yeah.
I want to just put it in my pocket for now.
And as you do, you really are interested. These candles, there's something about them that you're just kind of drawn to.
Can I do an Arcana check on them? Or can I just see if there's any kind of?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, that's a 7.
I mean,
Rip.
could be. It certainly doesn't. There's nothing that tells you it wouldn't be.
Could I take the book out and hold the book towards the table just to see if the book has any interaction? I know that sounds really odd.
No. It's a good thought, but no, there is no interaction. But it was a good thought.
And we can still smell the methane smell in here.
Not from this room. Nope, not in this room. But once you exit up the stairway, you can smell it maybe faintly, but not enough that you would think it would actually have an impact.
Question: the bones all around, are they like really old, fully stripped of any like flesh remnants? Are they like okay?
No, they're pretty old.
Gotcha. Interesting.
They do not seem new.
I think that Bonnie, being very nervous about a whole lot of things while you all are doing all this, I think she is going to ease over to closer to the hallway over there, just because she's now terrified of somebody coming upon them in surprise.
Yeah.
And while people were looking at the table, she would have been concerned about that. So she has wandered over there and is looking off in that direction.
Yeah, we'll let you peek down the hallway too. You see that it kind of turns down to another end. You could like vaguely see that there are some stairs here.
Okay, she is going to send that message thing because she's going to try it. She gets her finger out and points it at Phoenix because I think she has clearly identified the leader of this group is now Phoenix as far as she is concerned. And she's going to say, there's another hallway, and I think I actually see a tiny bit of a stairway with a bend in it, and she would just share that with him.
I think Phoenix just gives her a thumbs up. And maybe moves over and just sort of says like, yeah, I don't really know what's up with this table. Maybe we should move on.
I just kind of like quietly under the breath. There's something to do with this table. There's something about it, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm almost tempted to light the candles, but obviously with the methane smell.
Yeah, again, the methane smell is not in this room.
Before you light those candles, can I take a look as well? And can I roll an Arcana check too?
Yeah.
14?
They definitely have magical properties. What more specifically, you cannot tell, but they are absolutely magical.
I mean, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I could spend a little bit of time to figure out what they are, because if there's something really interesting, I would really like to know.
Well, what if we take one of the candles and pop it in your bag, and you can look at it later, because I don't know that we have the time.
They are like melted down onto the thing, so that would involve like breaking them off of the table as they are melted like into the table.
Is there any like pattern with the way that they're on the table?
They appear as they are there, kind of a rough, the 5 points, rough spot. So, but that's kind of rough.
So not like clearly in a pentagram or anything like that?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. Bonnie's finally gotten interested in what they're so interested in the table. I assume everybody's talking very quietly. We all.
Yeah.
So she's gonna step over it too, actually just out of idle curiosity. And she would just like to look at the table, look at the thing. If you're saying it's obvious that it's an altar.
Yes.
Okay, she's just really curious also, and she probably did not hear what Neil said. She wasn't close enough. So I just want to investigate the table myself. Bonnie's
That would
looking
be
at the
a-
table name.
Yeah, so you could make an investigation or a religion check.
And we'll do investigation, and she has no idea. She's become aware now that something's going on.
Okay.
Nah, she got a 9.
Yep. No, you weren't really able to get clean much from it.
I think at this point, Phoenix does make an executive decision. He looks at Neil and says, "Take the time." And then Phoenix is just going to kind of like post up over here and just like guard this, keep an eye out.
So I pull out my book out and lay it onto the table. And I look at Temperance and give Temperance like a big cheesy grin and say, "I brushed my teeth today." As he pulls out a tooth out of his mouth. "Oh, this one very well." And puts it into his spell book, and then goes into his pocket and pulls out a little feather and puts it onto the spell book, and starts casting. I want to take the 10 minutes plus 1 to cast Identify on the candles, please.
Okay. So Identify is going to be weird here. So it's not going to ping to anything specifically. You are going to get the general sense of it's not so much as a magic item as a magic effect.
Okay.
So Identify isn't going to give you specific information on this, as it isn't specifically a magic item, but instead a magic effect.
Right. Okay. So then, could I then continue that with following that up with Detect Magic? I know I'm spending quite a bit of time here to do this.
Yeah.
This is like 20 minutes total.
Yeah, with the Detect Magic, which, by the way, this could count as a short rest for everyone else, as he is doing that, if you had anything that would key on a short rest. That also does mean, Bonnie, if you wanted to cast, so since we're about to have another short rest, you could cast both of your spells and then get them back at the end of the short rest. So if there was anyone who wasn't at 100% max HP, you could Cure Wounds them or something like that. So
Okay.
yeah, if there's anyone who's not at max, so.
Okay, so thank you for that suggestion and understanding what's going on and trying to redeem herself in some way. Bonnie is gonna.
Yeah, and you don't have to mark off the spell slots. If you just click the if you just go under spells and then click, looks like that both Phoenix is 1 down, and
I don't know if I did this right. I clicked Cure Wounds once,
Perfect.
and I got 16.
Yeah, that's perfect. So one person healed for 16, which I'm sure will take them just back up to max, and then you can do that one more time. So.
And I got 15.
Okay.
So, guys,
so that will put basically everyone back to whole. We don't have to mark off the spell slots because you will get them back immediately. So.
Okay. So that Phoenix and Neil should be at full health.
Yep.
Okay. Do we get any temps with your healing? I'm not sure how your healing works.
You do not. It's just a Cure Wounds.
It's just a bit
So,
cute.
yeah. All right. So, yeah, as you cast Detect Magic, you notice a couple of things. So, first of all, the candles and the altar are definitely magic. And you also see a shimmer of illusion magic on the wall.
Where on the wall?
Yeah.
Just like kind of spread across here, generally. Across the...
Sorry, I'm across
Behind
here.
the
There we
table.
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
behind the table. Just kind of spread there generally. It's not across the whole wall. It's just across like a medium-size section in the middle.
And you said illusion magic on the wall. Is there any specific school of magic on the altar?
Necromancy.
So necromancy on the table, and I'm picking up on illusion magic over here.
Correct.
I would lean over to Temperance and just whisper, like, really quietly, because obviously I'm so focused on this table, and I feel like it's this moment of him looking at the table and then looking up and seeing illusion magic on the wall. Temperance. This is covered in necromancy magic, kind of obviously. I mean, the big book kind of says it. But there is a big bunch of illusion magic. To him, it's a big bunch. Obviously, it's really not that big. But there's a big bunch of illusion magic on that wall. And I wonder if there's maybe some sort of a secret doorway.
I'll go take a look.
Yeah.
And Temperance is gonna go up and see if she can see it. Come on. 3. That was a nat 1.
Beautiful.
I'm changing
You
my
do.
dice.
Well, I will say you put your hand on it, and it's definitely solid. That's something that would not even require a check.
Okay.
If something isn't solid, like you could just put your hand on it, no check required. So you do that, and you see that the wall is as it seems, at least in terms of the feel of it. Like all the cracks line up and stuff like that. That's no check required. Beyond that, you don't know.
I have an idea. And he takes his tooth back off the book, shoves it back in, puts the feather in his pocket, book in his backpack. Everybody be really, really quiet. And I'm going to pluck the flint out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and light those candles.
Oh, no.
So when you light the first candle, all 5 of them light immediately with a green glow. And you see
Why?
behind Temperance, there is a green glow on the wall, and she's standing in the way so you can't see it, but something is written there.
Temperance.
Okay.
Written on the wall in all capital in a very nasty scrawl just says, "Rise and be counted."
What
All of you would
languages
see
is,
that.
is it written in common? Rise and be counted.
And
All of you would see that.
is this covering the area of the detect
The illusion
magic
magic,
that
yes.
this is the illusion magic that I was seeing, so this is all that was in terms of the illusion magic, right?
That you would assume.
Yeah. Well, I think I figured out what the illusion magic is.
That's really ominous.
Neil?
Yes, Phoenix.
Bonnie, being very wise, is going to go.
Normally, lighting candles on an altar drenched in necromancy magic is about as bad of an idea as yelling to your friend in the other room in the middle of a dungeon. And the only reason I'm not yelling right now is because we're not in a little special room up a rope. If you have summoned a bunch of skeletons that we are going to have to kill later.
But Phoenix, the difference between that and this is that I am very particularly skilled in magic use. Bonnie, however, is not very particularly skilled in quiet use.
It doesn't matter if you're loud or quiet if you personally summoned the monsters who were coming down the hallway to chop your head off.
Well, clearly they're not summoned, and I just turn around and blow the candle up.
Yeah, you blow them and nothing happens. They stay lit.
Great.
You were saying?
It's just plastered there on the wall in large letters. Rise and be counted.
But nobody
Bonnie.
read it. Nobody said it out loud, right?
Bonnie, Bonnie, why did you light the candles? And I just walk away.
Neil. Oh. I don't have anything that could even try to put them out. I
What if I
suppose
get
using
some of-
prestidigitation on the candles won't work either. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It might snuff it for a second, but then it just pops right back.
Awesome. Awesome.
Phoenix takes out his axe, and I want to see if I can just scrape one of the candles off the altar.
Yeah, as you do, you slam the axe into it. And
I don't think he slams it. I think he just like sets it and just sort of like tries to
prise it off.
Blink, blink, blink. Yeah, it's like you're hitting iron. You're hitting an iron bar.
Oh boy.
Well,
it's just hanging out there. It still says it large. Rise and be counted.
Nobody read that out loud. Nobody read that out loud. Well, friends.
And be numbered.
Maybe we should move on. Should we go forward down this creepy hallway or back down to the big creepy room?
It might as well be an impact font as it says, rise and be counted.
I think we go forward first.
All right.
Unless there are any objections.
Bonnie gets her spatula out.
Maybe I'll check first this time. And I think Fenix just... Because I think he just needs a minute. He's going to just go ahead and walk down the hall. He is trying to
I
sneak.
will say, Neil, you still just feel intrigued by this. There's just something about it. You're looking at it at the wall.
Neil.
Because of that, I do not want to leave this.
Prince will just be like, Neil, we need to go.
Yes, but look at the funky writing on the wall.
Neil.
Seeing all of this, hearing all this.
Go ahead.
Bonnie's going to go back and really look at Neil. Okay, she's walked right up beside him. She's really close. She's looking directly in his face. Does he look any different? Like, what I'm getting at, does he look mesmerized or anything like that?
No, not at all. He looks the same way he looks when he's looking at his pet rat.
Okay. Bonnie is going to say Neil, which is the first time that since the big thing she has spoken to him. Come along. Does he
Rise
respond?
and be counted.
No, she does not say that.
Bonnie, but what if there's something interesting that's written in that book about this writing on the wall?
Neil, we're going to do what Phoenix says, and she is going to firmly grasp his ear and start to walk towards Phoenix.
He just arms by his sides, just trudges along. like a miserable little toddler, basically. Like, he is not happy.
Well, seeing that that's maybe somewhat under control, Phoenix is going to go ahead and try to do his best to sneak down the hallway. He has disadvantage on stealth, so this may not go well.
Okay. And Bonnie is, I'm assuming, moving slowly because she's dragging Neil along or whatever.
Oh, look, writing on the wall.
Oh, God.
It literally
God damn
says
it. I was trying to make it green, but it didn't work.
That's so cool, though.
That looks like a 14 as I try to sneak down the hallway and get a better look down these stairs.
All right, give me just a second here because I have to do this.
Oh no, that means there's monsters or something. It's got to decide which 7th level spell it's going to cast at us.
Oh no.
No, I'm just going to put that right there. Just
Sure you are. Just
as a reminder. Okay, there we go.
Green is Neil's favorite color.
It is, and that's the color it does happen to be written in. And that's not even something I just added. It's canonically what it is.
My favorite color, too.
Oh, yeah. So, Phoenix, as you walk down the hall, you would see another little junction down this way.
All right. I think Phoenix motions to everybody and continues on to see what he can see.
Okay. Does Bonnie feel like she can let go of Neil now, or does she feel like if she lets go of him, there's resistance in his body and he'll go back?
That's a Neil question. I don't know.
I've been told by Mother.
Okay, so then Bonnie lets go of him because, she's...
He is walking backwards, looking backwards at that room.
Okay. Just motioning him forward.
I hate dungeons.
Well, hopefully you don't hate the dragons too. I mean,
Because they just like they're nothing but intersections that you have to choose.
Tough decisions.
I'll see. I'd also say that this would also get you down to where you see this connects back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But are there any other hallways other than the one he's standing in? Can he see?
Yeah, there's one right here.
Of course.
Ooh.
Well, I'm trying to get as far as I can.
Ren
Okay.
disappears into a wall.
I don't want to do that.
You know, the 5 feet squares, it's just, in a way, like Minecraft makes sense because they do everything fit, you know, in the grids.
Yeah, I think
And this-
Phoenix... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was chatting.
I think Phoenix is going to raise his hand to call for a message.
Temperance will point at him and say, "Yeah, what do you see?"
He's going to say, 2 hallways, one that the necromancer came from, and another here.
I'll even give you a little more here. I'll go. You see yet another hallway down that way.
So many hallways.
Man, this place is massive.
You've seen a solid half of it.
5%.
Oh,
Maybe
half?
Maybe half. More like 40%.
Right. So we're going to be in this dungeon for months, is what you're saying.
I mean, there's a campaign for that too.
Yeah, so he basically just says that, kind of indicating that there's like a couple different ways to go, and seeing if we can message to decide on a way to go here.
Temperance will turn around and relay that information to everybody, and then just kind of be like,
Okay, hearing all that and thinking about it, I mean, Bonnie is like engaged, okay, in everything that's happening and paying a lot of attention. Bonnie is going to message Phoenix. And this message is the 25-word thing?
Yeah, but you can cast as many times as you want, so don't worry
Okay,
about
so
it.
what she's going to say to Phoenix is she's thought this through. If she got the message, there's 2 entrances, and one we think is the one that the woman came out of. She's going to say to Phoenix, the woman came to us, but no one followed her. So no one is missing her. So maybe there's not anything else that way. But we should watch our backs from all directions.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
that's Bonnie's input. And if anybody's looking at Bonnie, she is concentrating with everything in her now and looking at everything.
I would whisper forward to Bonnie. Does anybody need me to go and scout ahead?
She asks Finny, do you want Neil to scout ahead?
Phoenix, I think, reluctantly says yes.
Okay.
And
He's
Bonnie
worried
says
he's worried that Neil's just going to read any glowing green letters he comes across.
Bonnie is going to say yes, but don't do anything without Phoenix's permission. So Bonnie added to the message.
And I think that's a great place for us to stop for our break.
Okay. Do we happen to know if we have our
I'm
gal
hoping we
back?
have.
We'll
a
find
reason
out in
there.
a minute here. I haven't been
Yeah.
checking my messages, so
Okay,
we'll see.
folks. Yeah, we're going to pop off for a break. It's 6:34 now. 10 minutes puts us at 6:45. Seems good.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, folks. We'll be back in a little bit.
I'm ecstatic. We thought we had to send
Hello,
money.
and welcome back, everybody. Real quick, McReese, do you have inspiration?
I do.
Okay, that was it. I just wanted to double check that so I could make sure that I was right with the...
Just have to find where everybody is because of Robbie and his giant maps.
Hey, you don't have to blame this one on me. You could blame this one on Wizards of the Coast. Anyway, all right. So last time, Neil was gonna go popping off around the corner. Please, Neil, go ahead.
Yes, I will. I just tried clicking my counter within the Twitch stream, and that is not going to work.
Nope, I don't recommend that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sorry. That shouldn't be that funny, but...
I think it's hilarious. That's what I'm talking about.
Can I make a stealth check, please?
Yeah, make that stealth check.
Thank you.
This is so good I had to get my popcorn.
That was another nat 20. Jesus.
Holy hell.
Hey.
25. Nat 20
God
for
help us
25.
if we get a fight. You'll roll nat ones.
I know. Alright, okay.
Go ahead and move yourself.
I'm gonna move up here to try and peek around this corner. I don't want to stand in the middle of open view.
No, I got what you mean. By the way, if you hold down Alt while you drop your token, it will drop it between frames. So.
Oh my days! I didn't know that worked.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Give me just a second here. All right, as you come into this room with a large body sitting on the table in the middle, and there is a swarm of skeleton rats that are just kind of hanging around at the around the body too.
I feel like Neil would kind of put his hand over his mouth a little bit and just put his hand in the air and look back at somebody to try and message him.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can see you, so Fenix raises his hand and points towards where Neil went.
Temperance is gonna interpret all this sign language and point vaguely in Neil's direction and say, "Did you see something?"
Oh, I saw far too much. There's a dead body on a table, and
Fairly fresh, by the way.
Yeah, there's a dead body on a table, and there's lots of skeleton rats running around.
Running around.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I'd kind of like one as a pet, but I don't think it's a good idea.
It's probably not a very good idea. I would agree. Temperance is just gonna step up to Fenix and relay that information.
Okay, so you relayed that there's the rats. Did he say anything about whether there's any other exits from that room?
There are not. It's caved in.
I didn't say anything, so I guess I haven't actually told you.
He didn't say.
Okay. Ask.
Bonnie is moving up to the general conversation.
Because from Fenix, just out of character, Fenix's thinking is, oh, well, if this is a room that doesn't connect to anything else, then, we can just go check it and clear it, and it's an easy thing to mark off our,
Check off.
nothing here list kind of thing.
Nothing to see here.
Versus if we go this other way where there's 2 or 3 branching hallways, it's it'll take,
Temperance will point again and ask ask Neil, are there any other corridors or passageways or stairs from that room, or is it just the room with the body and the rats?
I don't think I could see any of the corridors, stairways, or passages. I was just a bit perturbed by the freshly mutilated corpse on the table.
That's disgusting and also understandable. I'll turn to Fenix and tell him that it looks like a dead end.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah, I think Fenix motions everybody to go where Neil went. We're going to go investigate that.
I think Bonnie would turn around and definitely beckon Raven forward. She's not being sure if she could see Fenix.
She's following. She's just been really kind of quiet, having been uncomfortable at the whole yelling at the elder thing.
Thank you.
So come here with that. Don't come here. Stick it
I
up for
love
bonus, Mom.
McReese.
So.
I love McReese.
Bonus Mom has a new favorite now.
Mhm.
It's okay. Listen, I was never in the running for that one.
I know too much about you, Pixel.
Neil would just turn around to everybody and say, and there's oh god, there's a mutilated body on a table.
I will say, yeah, as you're watching the rats like run up and burrow into the body. They are like ravenously eating what's left of this body.
Rat? You said skeletal rats,
Skeleton
right? Are we
rats,
talking
yeah.
like
Oh no, they're skeleton rats. And
spirit
they're
Halloween
still...
decoration kind of thing?
Yeah, kinda actually. Except for they are very much moving and seem to have big pointy teeth. So.
All right, Fennec. I want to pop up here and get a look real quick.
No check required to see that, by the way.
So they're burrowing in and like eating the body, but they don't have stomachs. Is that stuff just disappearing, or is it falling out of their ribcage?
No, it's falling out the back. It's like they are ravenously hungry, but not being satiated.
That's.
You're just watching them tear this body apart.
I think we know why they're hungry.
I feel a bit bad for them.
Raven is just really confused because their bones, there's no muscle or tissue, and she has no clue how this is working at all.
Look, my suggestion is we send in, and he starts looking at everybody's feet. I suggest we probably send in you first, Felix. You've got the biggest feet to stomp on them.
Fennec just sort of like hefts the silver flail. He's like, I mean, I think this is probably not a bad way to go with it.
Temperate.
He like pulls it out of his pack because he didn't,
I will say they do seem to be completely content with just tearing this body to pieces. They haven't even looked your way.
From here, does there appear to be anything else in the room at all? Like it's caved
Not
in
a
on
damn
one side.
thing. It's just full of trash.
Full of trash, a dead body,
and
being eaten
no
by
smell of
skeleton
methane
rats.
here.
No smell of methane, but a very smell of rotted corpse.
How fresh is this corpse?
Yeah, it's fresh. It's fresh enough that there's still definitely meat on the bones, but not fresh enough that it's got a rank odor to it.
So, but there doesn't there doesn't look to be from here any kind of like this person's effects or like identifying. It's just like a okay.
Does the room itself seem to be trapped at all?
You have no idea. Not from what you can tell, but you also don't really know.
And we're out of water now. This is up, right? There's no.
Yeah.
No, correct.
Can we see? Can we see at all what this is back here?
Hold on. It just looks like a disused fire pit.
Okay. Because we work for the city guards, should we be like, I know we can't really rescue them because they're already dead, but should we be like helping to identify them or something like that?
Phoenix, you would know that the Flaming Fist does not give a damn.
I mean, tell you what. If we get finished with this place and manage to somehow dispel whatever weird necromancy magic is on it and those rats become disanimated, maybe then we'll try and see if we can identify it, but I don't if we go in there and mess with it, then the rats are going to try to eat us, and that's just, putting ourselves in danger we don't need to be in for somebody that ain't going to help.
So you think that we may need to dispel the necromancy magic?
You don't
I
think
mean, in general,
lighting those candles brought the rats to life?
I did tell Bonnie not to light the candles.
Here's a question.
Neil.
Do we hear any sound from the rats? Or are they like, I mean, they're like, maybe they're not squeaking, but if they're like tearing a corpse
Oh, no, you
apart.
can hear the sounds of the
Okay.
skittering feet and rips of flesh, and you can absolutely hear it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for a follow-up question, I know that Phoenix maybe wasn't super paying attention at the time. We had other things on our mind. But after we got done with the fight, and also we came back down here and looted that lady, did we hear those noises at that time?
Oh. I don't know if you were paying enough attention to remember one way or the other.
Okay. Fair enough.
Bonnie tweaks Neil's ear rather harshly, but doesn't
are we-
say anything.
Too far from the body to see if it was the way it was mutilated.
I mean, right now
it
it's
look
too mutilated
ritualistic?
by... It's way too mutilated by skeletal rat to have been able to tell that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather not get eaten by a skeletal rat. And it doesn't seem like there's anything else in that room, so shall we press on down towards the south?
I'm also going to save you a little bit of time. This last one is just a dead end.
This last one.
The one that down to the south. There is a little bit in this first room.
Oh god.
To look for in this first room down here.
Okay.
But farther than that just goes to a dead end.
Okay.
So if I was
Just to keep the story moving. But if you come down here, you might,
Yeah.
could I continue to scout ahead then?
Yeah,
Just,
for sure. So, and then I'll just do a fairly sizable reveal. So, alrighty.
I think Bonnie definitely stays towards the back and has her eyes. She is looking the other way to
So,
make sure those
in-
rats don't come out of that room.
In this room that you're in, Neil, there is a rat in here, but not a skeletal one. A regular seeming rat. And that is the only thing in this room.
I don't like that you threw seemingly in there.
Yeah, I don't like the word seemingly either.
What's it doing?
Right now, skittering in a corner, trying to get away from Neil.
Okay, so Neil does like rats. This is a thing. So I would probably start by, if I can see that it's scared of me or it's trying to run from me, I would probably actually Neil would probably try and like just calm it down.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How are you doing that?
I'm gonna get like real low to the ground. And I'm gonna take out a little bit of one of the spoiled pies that I have left over, one of the little tarts that are left over, and I'm gonna like put it down on the floor in front of me.
Right.
And I'm just gonna turn around to Phoenix. There's a very cute little rat he's running away from me. I'm just going to feed him.
Yeah. So, make an animal handling check at advantage.
Nice. Yeah. That is a dirty 20.
All right. Yeah, the rat attacks the food.
I thought you were going to say me there. I was like, oh, jeez.
No, attacks the food viciously. He absolutely demolishes it, and then looks up expectantly.
I look back at Phoenix and say, is Raven there? Where's Raven? She can speak to animals. She has a snake. Just don't let the snake see the rat.
Bold of you to assume.
Well, you speak to your snake, so you can speak to animals.
Technically, Cleo's not actually an animal. She's a familiar.
Yeah, she does look pretty familiar.
do I have? I don't think it's a spell that's
It'd be one that you
natural to it.
prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
have to
obvious. It's
prepare it.
definitely a druid spell, but if you don't have it prepared, then you don't have it prepared.
Nope.
I'm gonna give it another little bit of like heart.
Yeah, and once again, absolutely just like if you barely get it. It like jumps up to take it from you, and then very careful not to nip you. Strangely enough, as it kind of skitters back into the corner, enjoying its snack.
I'm totally gonna do this. I'm gonna look back to see if Bonnie is there. If Bonnie can see me, and hopefully she can't.
Not from where she is.
No, she's definitely looking to see if the skeletons come out of the room. She's
I'm
ignoring.
gonna get a little bit more of the tart, hold it down, and kind of point in my backpack.
Make another animal handling check, still at advantage.
I'm also going to ask a real quick question that the answer is
That's
probably no. Is Neil's detect magic still up at this point?
No, definitely not. It's been way more than 10 minutes. Even with a 10, though, with the 20 before and the 10 now, it dives into your bag after the food.
McReese is plunged into darkness.
Another eclipse? Oh, what?
It's a kitty eclipse.
I've liked all the memes of the black cats going in front of the orange cats. Those have been some of my favorite memes this week.
Okay, so I'm going to put my backpack back on. Nonchalantly.
Okay.
And make sure there's food in there for the rat, which I'm assuming there would be.
Oh yeah, there is, and it
numerous
found it.
things in
No,
there.
no question. You can feel the skittering.
I'm tying up my bag. I'm doing the buckles on my backpack.
Okay.
That rat ain't get back out there.
You got it.
I make sure there's air for it to breathe, obviously.
Yeah, that's fine. Not hard. If there's anything that Neil is good at, it is this specifically.
So down this way, we can like clearly tell this is a dead end.
Dead end, yeah.
Okay. Phoenix, there's a dead end down this way. This doesn't go anywhere.
All right, well, one more hallway to check. And
Gulp.
Phoenix is going to suggest that we go all the way back to this other stairway that we passed up before the green room.
Oh, yeah, back past the table.
When they're all kind of close together so she can speak softly, Ravens, could we maybe find a different word to use aside from dead end?
Why a different word?
We all came kind of close to being ended. Oh, except for Tempe. She ran off.
I didn't run off. I was scouting in a different direction.
Bravely
I came
rode for
back.
Tempest, rode forth from Camelot. She was not at all afraid. Escaping.
What, do you have
Okay.
a suggestion?
Let's go. Bonnie's headed that way.
Yeah. And as you walk, you feel free to move your way all the way back. You can move yourself through any of the places you've been. Though as you do come through this room, you see in bright green letters, all capitals, "Rise and be counted." And your eyes linger on it, Neil.
Phoenix is just keeping a close eye on him. He's not doing anything, but Phoenix is just watching like a hawk while we're in this room.
How long would it take me to cast Identify?
It's an action if you're using a spell slot.
I don't have it. I've only got it available as ritual because I
10
haven't got
minutes.
it. Yeah, it's 10.
And you've already
well,
casted
11.
it.
Yes. However, I didn't cast it on the spell book. And I don't know whether
The
casting
spell
it on
book
the
with
spellbook
your
would be
check, you would
worth-
know is not a magic item, just a spell book. The detect magic would have given you an aura of
Okay.
necromancy around it.
I'm gonna look at everyone and like with the in the most like sensible way that Neil possibly can, I really think I should check out this book and see if this is relevant, because this seems really important. But I also don't want to do anything wrong and get told off.
Well, here's my question. What do you anticipate the range of outcomes to be here? Like in your mind, like what are you gonna do and what's gonna happen when you do it?
Well, my thought is you mentioned before that we need to try and possibly dispel some sort of necromantic capabilities that are happening in here. Now, if we can figure what the source of that necromantic capabilities is, then maybe we might be a step closer in the right direction. And I think this is a clue.
Okay. So let's do kind of like a best case, worst case here. Right? Best case, it's a clue, it helps us stop these people. Worst case, it summons a bunch of undead directly into this room and we have to fight them. Or it alerts something elsewhere, or makes a later encounter that we have with other groups of people harder than it would have been.
Maybe I just take a look through the book and see if there's anything about what that says on that wall. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't think that's a good idea.
What did it say on the wall?
It says
Bonnie
not
points
falling
her
for
finger
that
at
bullshit.
the GM.
And Trixie DM.
It says, in a voice that cannot be mistaken for my character's voice, and therefore is certainly not diegetic to this world.
All right, Neil, what you doing? I need to know.
Would you all allow me to peruse the book momentarily?
I think that taking a look at it is probably okay, but I really don't think we should take the time to do much more, because we don't know what's still down that other hallway, and there's still those two
Also
other
very true.
doors. There's a lot.
Also
We have a
very
lot
true.
to cover that we haven't seen yet.
Okay, do you know what? I'm gonna take out the spell book, making sure to try and be sneaky about keeping the rat in there and taking the spell book out. Actually,
Yeah, easy enough. It did
Yeah.
nibble on one of the pages.
That's fine. As long as it didn't turn it into a skeleton rat. I don't know what necromantic spellbooks are going to do to a live rat. And I just want to have like a very basic like overview, quick flick through as fast as I can.
So as soon as you
to see if-
open the book, I need you to make me a
shit.
Constitution saving throw.
Rip.
Oh no!
Why?
Damn, and the con saves again.
Oh,
Listen,
feeling so
we don't
much
like when
better
Fenix
about
yells,
everything.
but
that's a 19.
Okay.
There better not be a black pudding in that book.
Oh God! Don't curse me, please.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a 19.
So you don't even notice that you have to make the save. Your character, all the characters, would be completely unaware that even happened. As you nose through, you find the spells. It's a completely normal spell book, and there's nothing in it other than the spells.
Can I gauge what spells are in there actually?
Yeah, I put them on in the. If you look at the item, they're in there.
Oh, have you actually given me the item?
yeah, it's in roll 20.
Roll 20.
It's a handout.
So if you look at the book that I showed you, underneath it, there in the description, is the spells.
Oh.
Here, I'll throw them also into the roll 20 chat just so they're there.
Oh, that's super cool.
There's some good
Okay.
ones in there.
Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be some spells that I can at a later date try and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Until you feel that con save
Until I feel that concept.
and turn into a skeleton right in front of our eyes. Or whatever
Basically.
thing it does to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, you're pretty convinced that there's only one other step, and you know exactly what it is.
He really
Well,
wants
it's
us to
nothing
do
to-
this, which means it can't be a good idea.
This is the difficulty, is that technically it might be a really good idea.
That is true.
But it might also be a really bad idea.
I think at this point everyone's starting to turn and leave the room, so...
Yeah, I think-
Bonnie is still doing whatever Phoenix does.
I mean,
That's going to be her plan for a while.
Honestly, given the fixation, Phoenix has no intention of leaving Neil alone in this room unobserved. He's just not gonna do it, man.
The worst bit is
I had to watch this little dude get pulled out of this room by his ear earlier.
The worst bit is at this point is that is essentially like, I think it would be obvious at this point now that Neil is probably looking for maybe just a quiet opportunity to actually read it. So I think that would probably be obvious. I don't think Neil is particularly all too good at hiding his
Raven is going to preemptively cast
excitement.
Bark Skin.
I'm about to say, because listen, are you saying it? Because it's right there.
No, because everyone stood right there. I'm not going to, and I don't think you would.
No, they're not. No one stood right there.
I mean, I specifically said I stayed there.
So Rise and Be counted as at this wall, and there's not anyone standing here.
You mean stood in the room still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You mean stood in the wood?
I think he meant he's still being observed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're being observed. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I actually? I want to do a check. Can I try and like put my ear to this wall and see if there's anything anything the other side of the wall?
Yep.
I'm gonna go investigation.
I want to ask while you're doing that, and
That's dirty 20.
Absolutely
do the
nothing.
rest of you have Twitch up and running and we're in it?
Yes, I do.
Huh?
Mhm.
I do
Okay.
not.
I don't either. It went away.
Oh, I mean, my stream
Twitch
still
stream
says
is
it's
gone. It's just like not available. I just
Just try refreshing it, and it'll probably work.
okay. Well, I did that, but I'm restarting my phone.
Oh well. We're gonna
It's right.
see.
It still says it's live for me. So
Then that's good. I just was
Yeah, and I can
afraid
see
we
it
were
through
off
mine.
the
okay,
air.
chat says that they can see us too. Jojo does.
Okay, that's good.
Dirty
Can I-
20 for me.
Yeah, no, you hear nothing, absolutely nothing. And you can tell it's literally just with that. I can even just tell you it's a magic hand spell that lets you have a message be read under certain conditions.
Well, shall we?
Can I have a look at the room, at the walls, the ceiling, the floor for just scrapes or holes or any
Yeah.
kind of?
None of the such, and I would count with that mod 20 check of his that would be the same type of thing, just scouring the room, and you'd see nothing
Okay.
like that.
Wait, there's all these guys. There's all these bones right here. How much you want to bet? Somebody says that stuff out loud. All these bones pop up and fight.
I mean, that would it would fit with the first word of the phrase on the wall.
Now maybe if whoever says it gets control of them, maybe they don't. Maybe it's keyed to the people who already is here. But
my
that
goodness.
seems.
I'd
Are
rather
you
not
telling me that
find
I
out.
can control skeletons?
No,
No.
Neil, I think that's such a bad idea. We don't know. It's such a.
You either control
think-
them or you have to fight them. And I'm looking
Raven's in
down.
the back going, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Bonnie, this sounds like an adventure.
Bonnie strides across the room around the table, grabs him by both ears, and says, "We're leaving now." And she heads out of the room unless he tries to get away from her.
Actually, do you know what? Goblin brain. Neil is gonna absolutely dodge out of Bonnie's ears. Out of Bonnie's arms. I'm sorry to do this, but I have to. Goblin brain is taking over.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna dodge out of. I don't know if I need to make a check for that or anything.
You have
Try
time.
and-
You see her coming around the corner, which would give you more than enough time before you even have to make a check.
Okay.
Because she'd have to
Um,
push past Temperance to do so.
And I would. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really sorry. but I have to do it. He jumps up on the table, both arms in the air, and just in his most like goblin of goblin voices, in goblin, he says, "Rise and be counted."
Yeah, nothing happens when you.
Raven would have been standing there. She'd have had her staff ready to kind of do shillelagh. She's just prepared to fight.
I did say it in goblin, so to be fair, I don't know. I know obviously Raven would 100% understand me. I think Bonnie probably would. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Bonnie
nothing
gets the
Phoenix
gist.
doesn't.
I'm pretty sure that jumping on the table and doing this would probably give away what you were saying, even if we couldn't speak.
Seeing all that, and Bonnie was headed around, she's like right behind him. I think she takes her spatula and whacks him across the fanny as hard as she can and says, "Get down from there."
Hold the
But she
body.
says it very quietly. Get down from there.
But Bonnie.
Except he said it loudly, right? So now he
No, I'm not shouting. I'm like in my goblin voice. I want to be very specific. But I don't think I would be shouting after the whole debacle. But Bonnie, maybe they don't speak goblin. And I just kind of like under my breath go, "Rise and be counted."
And as you say that, you watch as the bones start to coalesce and assemble into the words disappear and coalesce into these three figures, and all three of them turn to kneel and look at you expectantly.
Take 5 steps in that direction, and I point over the towards the room where we're heading to.
They do exactly that.
Bonnie runs away from them frantically over behind Phoenix. Ronnie, you didn't know the old lady could run that fast.
Temperance's hands light up with lightning.
Raven's
Bow
She backs
down.
up.
Dance.
They all three of them bow.
I think I'm a necromancer now.
Raven's gonna name off a folk dance that would be popular from where she's from. Make him dance.
Do the stanky leg.
And they all three start doing the stanky leg. They also do have names, by the way. I need to let you know. So, this one, first of all, let me go ahead and give control of this to that, is named Jerry Speinfeld.
Which one? Which color?
Oh, I put a nameplate
Green.
on it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Green is Jerry Speinfeld.
The blue one's name is David Boney.
Sure it is.
And the last one is Macaulay Skulkin.
Amazing.
All right, yeah.
Phoenix massages his temples again.
Now, did I really want you to do that so that I could say those names?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Thousands of times, yes.
But Phoenix does say, "Neil, you got lucky this time. But if you keep rolling those dice long enough, they're gonna come up and not go your way."
But Phoenix, I have pet skeletons now.
Like
Not
I said,
in my
nothing.
house, you don't.
He
You
has
got
learned
lucky.
nothing.
This time.
Bonnie, we
Not
keep
in
them?
my house. We'll talk about it later.
okay.
But
You're
also,
collecting more pets than my brother.
Oh,
Skeletons are not pets. My son, before you went away, had a boa. No, it was a ball python. I won't be having any of those pets in my house.
okay.
Raven kind of tucks Cleo under her shirt.
I ask the 3 skeletons, are you capable of speech?
They stare so blankly back.
Okay. They don't speak. Well, they don't have voice boxes, so I don't know how they would speak. The skeletons, can you please make sure to listen to any commands that are given to you by anyone within this 5 people here?
They all give you a thumbs up.
See? Now they're our pet skeletons.
Well, shall we?
Just keep them in the garden.
I can probably stay down here once we leave.
That's probably a good idea. I don't think the city would take very well to skeletons shambling around.
Anyway.
Shall we?
I'm not going first. I'm squishy.
Okay, yeah, Fenix, you can go ahead and move that way. There's no check for any of this revealed area that you've already been through. So.
Skeletons, follow behind the last person in the group.
Okay, and Neil, you can go ahead. It is on you to go ahead and take care of it. Move them, please.
Well, I can only move one of them. I can only move Jerry currently.
Oh, hold on. Let's get you David and Macaulay.
I would probably quietly try and apologize to Phoenix on the way and say that I will try not to do that again.
Okay, you should move all of them now.
It just... Awesome. When you take risks, it's not just you that pays the price. If it goes bad, it's Bonnie and all your other friends. So, I'm not trying to be like a real hard ass here. But we are in a dangerous place where stuff wants to kill us. So we gotta be smart. We got lucky this time. And this is actually helpful. They'll help us fight stuff. But
I'm not sure if you're aware, because I haven't really told anybody, Phoenix. But I am a goblin. And it tends to be a little bit in our nature to be a little bit impulsive. I do try my best.
Well, I'm just telling you this for your own interest. If things really go sideways, I'm not the one you'll be answering to. I ain't going to be the one you really let down.
Yeah, that would be Bonnie.
Go ahead and continue to move yourselves if you'd like.
How do the skeletons do in the water?
Trudge through, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Phoenix moves up, and when we get to the edge here, gestures for Neil to scout ahead, if he wants to. I know you have a lot more bookkeeping with the movement to do now.
Yep.
Oh, good. You put them all together. That's good.
Okay, I'm going to make my stealth check to start stealthing around this corner. Plus, I'm assuming I don't have advantage because I'm going to be coming out of the water.
Yeah, that is correct. You only have advantage inside the water.
Okay. Wow, that is a 24.
Good
Jesus, man.
Have you barely rolled less than 17?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
You did get like 110.
This hallway has 5 doors.
Of course it does.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Luckily, it would have been 6, but this one seems to have been collapsed.
So this is collapsed.
Yeah, as is this one. That's just a little niche. There's nothing in there.
Okay. And then this is a doorway, this is a doorway, this is a doorway, this is a doorway, and this is a doorway.
Yeah. The only one that's not a doorway is this one. That is collapsed.
So there's those 5 there. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of lean back around towards to Phoenix and just say, there's five different doorways.
My guess is it's some.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Should we send the skeletons in first?
Not a bad idea. My guess.
Well, they can't. I will say they can't communicate at all.
My guess is these are some sort of quarters for the grunts or whatever. I don't know that for sure, but just
Or
based on
cells for prisoners.
could be that too.
By the way, as you get into this area, Neil, you're already starting to feel the smell be lessened down this hallway. Feels like it's the water area alone.
Okay, why don't we do
Even by
There-
the end of this hallway, it's starting to dissipate.
Are there gaps under the doors?
Maybe the smallest gap, not a whole lot.
How about this? What if-
Something
Go
a
ahead.
snake could slither under,
Could
or
certainly try.
then I will move myself closer to Temperance. Kind of grab her forearm.
Need a Cleo.
Yep. And I will send Cleo, and I will look through her eyes.
Okay, go for it. You can control Cleo. Okay. Go ahead and have Cleo make me an acrobatics check at advantage. Which is probably just dexterity.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't think familiars have detailed sheets.
They do, but
Dex. I don't know if it'll work without the
you might just
add-on.
have to. You might just have to do the just do custom rolls.
Yep. D20 plus 3. 11.
And at advantage, so because small. Yeah, with a 17, absolutely. All right, so this first one here, you basically just get your head underneath, and you see that this is a collapsed crypt. You can see the remnants of what was once. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to do the fog reveal. What may have once been a coffin, but there is absolutely nothing in this room.
Okay. No bounty, no treasure.
Nope.
Okay. She will move on to the next one.
Okay. Go ahead and make that check again at advantage.
Mm-hmm. 23.
No problem with a nat 20. Yeah, so this room is much more clean. The only thing you see here is a sarcophagus that is partially opened and nothing else.
Could she... I'm going to have her go in and see if there's anything in the sarcophagus.
Yeah, so as you do, there is, it looks like a body in there.
Like a body or a skeleton body?
Oh, excuse me. No, I lied. Reading from the wrong thing. No, just there's nothing but some dust and a few scattered bones. She looked to be humanoid.
Okay. Next room.
Okay, next. Go for it. I'll already tell you that as you start to squeeze out
Dirty 20.
Okay, yeah, so before you even do that'll be for the next room. As you start to squeeze through this one, you can literally see the rubble blocking it, and then it would open up into just a wall. You don't even have to make the check. You could see that through the teeny little gap. So, and a dirty 20, as you look at this room, you see several humanoid figures kind of lumbering around, not doing anything. They're just standing there. Absolutely nothing.
Living humanoid figures?
Oh, no. They're very much undead. You can make an Arcana check to see if you recognize a zombie straight off, but if you described it to any of the mages, they would know, or probably Phoenix for that matter. It would be pretty clear that they are zombies.
With a net 20?
You know what zombies are. Okay, yes, they are zombies.
Okay, she had been kind of lightly holding onto Temperance's arm, and as soon as she sees that, she kind of starts tapping. Zombies, 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 zombies.
That being said, they seem completely docile as in this dark room.
So, for the zombie room.
Temperance will pass that along to Fennec and the rest, so that Raven can concentrate.
On hearing that, I would kind of like, skeletons, can you stand in front of us all, please? And
yeah, go for it.
I'd bring them in front of the party.
And one more room.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Yeah, no problem. As you see into this one, there is a humanoid figure who is chained up to the wall. You see another rack with a dead body on it, and another door.
Can I make out the one that's chained up? Is he or she breathing?
Seems to be, but it's hard to tell. Certainly not as dead as the other one, which is very clearly, even at a glance, dead.
Okay, then I will call Cleo back and tell Temperance that there is a prisoner chained to the wall.
And Temperance will pass that along.
All right, well, we have a couple options here, folks. Obviously, the room with the zombies in it, they might not attack us if we don't go in there, but if we leave them, there's some chance that somebody further on in the place may have some magical ability to compel them to come fight us from behind or something. So
you're saying we have to kill them?
No, not necessarily. It's just those are the options are definitely get rid of them or maybe skip them knowing they might show up again later.
And we're having a very quiet conversation where we can all hear each other about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bonnie, looking around at all of the rocks that we're talking about, are they rocks we can pick up and move, or are they rocks that are stuck?
No, they're rubble, so you could definitely move it.
Okay, so Bonnie wants to, and we've been getting the report about each room one way or the other, correct?
Correct, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bonnie wants to move up to the first door, grimacing as she moves past the skeletons, and she wants to see which way the doors open. Do they open in or out?
They would open in.
Okay.
Yep.
Then Bonnie is going to look towards, again, past the skeletons and say to Phoenix, well, she'll send him a message. She's learned her lesson. She's sending Phoenix a message that says, should we all of us take these rocks and pile them up in front of a door where they couldn't get out, or do we need to go in there and kill them?
So since they open in, they would open in towards the rooms.
Right. But so all I could do, we'd have to fill up the hallway with rocks.
Yeah.
So if they open if they opened the door, they were looking at the same thing that we saw over here, which I don't know how to pay. So.
I also have another idea, which is that we can, the hallways, one wide, we could set up, skeletons in these side chambers, right? We could maybe have one of the skeletons open the door, lure them out, and run down. I could hold the spot here. You guys could stand behind me and fire ranged attacks down the hallway. And then the skeletons could sort of fill in behind, and we just sort of meat grinder them from both ends.
Yeah. I will say, they seem to be completely docile. You're pretty sure that as long as you don't mess with them, nothing's going to happen.
Or, I have another idea. I have some rope or some manacles or a stake. We could maybe try to lock the door from the outside so that they couldn't get out, even if they did get activated or something in some way.
Yeah, I mean, even if the doors open inwards, if we, like, tied a rope to one of the other doors, it would at least provide some tension they'd have to break through.
Yeah. And Phoenix, I'll say with your adventuring knowledge, they are not very smart. If the door isn't already open, you don't know if they would have a way to open them.
Yeah, they'd have to break through it.
Yeah. So, as long as you think if it was barred shut, that would almost certainly keep them in. Because they are just not smart enough to... You've dealt with your fair share of zombies.
Right. Yeah, let's just like tie a rope from one door handle to another and leave them in there.
Yeah, and there's no check required to do that. Tying knots and using rope is a check that you are all proficient in. So you can absolutely, using, let's see how much rope this would take. 25 foot of rope, bar those two doors together and real tight to where you are confident that there's not going anywhere.
Okay. We probably all have rope. I'm willing to give up 25 feet of rope, but does anyone want to?
I have a different idea that wouldn't involve rope, which means that we're not using the rope up so that we don't have to leave rope behind.
Okay.
We said that we already know that this room is empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she described that there was a sarcophagus in the second room. If there is a lid to that sarcophagus, I could make it a little bit lighter so that you can carry it, and place it against the door so that it can't be opened.
But it opens inwards toward them. Although they can't do that, they're not smart enough. They'd have to blast it outwards.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work. Also, even at half weight, that thing has to weigh hundreds of pounds. So it's a stone lid. So even at half weight, that would be a lot. We'll just go ahead and say that you did the rope trick.
Yeah, I'll just give up the 25 feet of rope. I've edited my rope to say it's only 25 feet long, and we'll call that good.
Okay.
Yep. And this last room had the person in there, but you didn't see... they were manacled to the wall, but didn't see him to have anything else going on.
I have to step away for a minute.
Okay.
Yep. Should we go in the last room?
I think so.
I couldn't tell how alive, but I think the man manacled to the wall woman was alive. Possibly. Maybe. Hopefully.
Well, I'm certainly not the most charming member of our group, so perhaps someone a little more comforting should go in first.
I'm just going to ask the skeletons to step into these kind of openings out of the way so that the pathway is
easy
clear.
enough. So,
Well, I think that might be either Bonnie or me, I suppose.
To step in and speak to the lady?
Yes.
I am certainly willing to do that. I feel like I owe it to the group, and I would be happy to do that.
feel free to move yourselves.
Phoenix, is that what I should do?
Yeah. They may be, I don't know, scared, so don't try to be, nice, I guess.
Please don't send me all the way down this hallway past these skeletons alone. Please tell me I will have people behind me to support me in case
I'll stay
that
at the
is
door
some
here.
sort of illusion or whatever and it goes wrong.
I'm gonna follow along behind and I'm gonna tuck my ears in politely. Bonnie, if the manacles need to be taken off, I think I might be able to jimmy the locks.
All right. Bonnie is going to attempt to open the door.
It's unlocked.
And does it also open in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bonnie is going to just crack it a bit you know, not fling it open, and peek around it.
Yeah. The floors of this room are covered with streaks and splashes of dried blood. 2 dangling bodies are shackled to the east and south walls. One is an elderly human male, and the other a tiefling female. Both are covered in bloody gashes, and neither is moving. In the middle of the room is a sturdy wooden chair with a bloody whip draped over it. A bucket half filled with salt sits on the floor nearby.
All right, now, Bonnie now knows that she's got this finger and it'll do something. She's not exactly sure how that works. She is going to attempt, as she peeks around the door, does the person look at her that's chained to the wall?
Yes, she would turn and go, well, I don't think that you're one of them.
Okay. Then Bonnie is going to point her finger at this person. Okay. And she's going to send her a message that says, I am here to help you. Is it safe for us to come in?
Well, they are not here, so it should be.
Bonnie looks back and says, it's not an illusion. I don't think it's a real person. It answered my message. They say it's safe because they aren't there. Should I move in? Okay, getting permission from Phoenix, Bonnie moves into the room in front of the person and is looking at them and says, oh, you poor dear. I'm so sorry this is happening to you.
I'm sorry too, to be completely honest.
What happened? How did you get here? Why are you here?
Well, they took me and my brother off the street for information, and they have been torturing us until they got it. Well, me and my brothers.
Information that they wanted.
Oh, something about our family.
Your family?
Yes.
And, dear poor lady, who is your family?
Well, if they haven't tortured it out of me, you certainly won't.
Did one of your brothers have curly blonde hair?
Oh, have you seen him?
I think his name was
Astarion, yes. I'm sure he introduced himself.
Yeah.
He does that.
He's
Yes.
your brother.
Not biologically, but you know.
You say they are not here. Who are they?
All the people who have been torturing us viciously.
Oh, I'm so sorry that's
They must be around the corner.
through that entrance.
Yes.
Do you think if we could release you that you would be able to travel with us to freedom?
I could certainly try. I must admit I am incredibly weak. I would not be much in a fight right now.
I will throw healing word at her, and I will do it in infernal. Yes, infernal.
Yeah, it has no effect.
Raven's back to looking puzzled. She kind of sits there, kind of tapping her staff like, "Is the thing on?"
I do appreciate it, but that is not likely to work for me. If you could just get me down, that would be more than enough, please.
My name is Neil. And
Well, hi, Neil.
I'm going to attempt to take off your manacles. Is that okay?
Yes, I will remind you. You did have a set of keys that you pulled off the guy and unlocked the things before.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to kind of
Your characters would remember that, but it's been several weeks for you guys.
I'm going to clamber up as well as I can and try and
and it opens immediately. Open. She kind of gets down. So do Neil make me a perception check as you're doing that.
That is a 7.
Yeah, okay, nothing. So as you unlock it, so she kind of stretches. Thank you so much. I will follow with you for some security, but I must admit, I am completely unable to help you fight. At this point, it would kill me to do much of anything.
Can I make an insight check on her, whether she's being honest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone can do that.
Well, and Bonnie would be scrabbling around in her pack for food and water because I think we do have some rations, right?
Yes.
17 for the insight.
Yeah, so with a 17, okay, she's not telling you the whole truth, but she seems to be, she hasn't told any lies either.
Okay.
Yeah, and she doesn't strike you as dangerous, or at least not. Let me change that. She doesn't strike you as hostile to you. She seems genuinely thankful as she thanks you for releasing her.
Okay. Bonnie's going to take a kerchief from her pack and some water, wipe down her face, possibly massage her hands a little bit, and give her some food and water.
She would appreciate it. Yes, thank you very much.
But she's not. I'm not going to.
She kind of pecks at it a little mutely, but isn't exactly ravenous.
Just as a momentary explanation, I hope that you're not scared of skeletons because I happen to have 3 pet skeletons.
Well, I've seen worse, but I appreciate the heads up. All right. Well, I must admit, I would prefer if they went ahead of me. I would like to be at the very back. I can be a good lookout. That is one thing I promise to do.
How long have you been down here?
Oh, a week or so. They killed him. Go to the other guy. One of my other brothers. He was kind of a dick, to be honest.
I'm gonna call forward the skeletons to kind of line up along here.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what we're gonna find behind that door? I mean, you said them, but like, any idea on the shape of the room or the numbers we'll be facing?
I haven't seen beyond the fact that it goes into a hallway, so I couldn't exactly tell you.
Gotcha.
I myself have only dealt with a few of them, but some of them are quite mean.
Are they human?
Some of them.
What are the others?
Isn't that the question?
Oh, dear.
And these are still the cultists?
I believe so, yes. They didn't identify them as such, but the emblems of Bane, Ball, and Merkel were not hidden. She shrugs.
Well, shall we open the door? Peek through the keyhole?
Should we send our little Cleo in to peek?
I can send Cleo again.
You know the drill.
Yep. Oh, hold on. I gotta untether us so I can move up my temperance.
Bonnie's going to kind of stay with the person that we have freed, just to help her. And she's going to say in a low voice, "What can we call you, dear?"
Me? You can call me Vendetta.
Vendetta?
Vendetta. Like V for Vendetta.
Right. Vendetta.
Mhm.
This the door?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Still with
that check?
advantage?
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow my inspiration.
Huh.
Seems like a good call.
Couldn't be much worse.
13.
13 will be enough, yep. To
Okay.
get you down the hallway. Hallway just kind of winds around the corner. But I can say from here, you can hear some muted sounds of clanking armor. It sounds like some kind of fight is happening.
I was just gonna ask if it's like a actual fight or like.
Yeah, no, it sounds like an
sparring.
actual fight. Like,
How far can my familiar go from me?
not too terribly far while you still have control over it. At some point, you can give it a command and let it keep going, but at that point, you don't have any control over it.
I want to say it's like
you're getting
100
about to the
feet,
limit.
isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, should be kind of okay right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can follow it, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't follow it.
Okay, well, if it's scouting ahead, maybe I'll come in behind it. I don't know
What
if
kind
we
of
want...
snake is it? Because that will kind of determine on if it can swim or not. I'll let you make that determination and just tell me.
In my head, she's sort of a constrictor, but I couldn't find stats for a constrictor.
They would be much bigger, yeah.
So I'm using
they don't
the
have a swim speed, but
poisonous
it would be
snake
able to.
stats.
Yeah. So they don't have a swim speed, but they would be able to swim a little bit if you want her.
Oh
to
yeah,
do
they
that.
have 30-foot swimming speed.
Oh, well, there you go. Never mind. They have a swim speed.
Okay. I feel like we're bringing up a little bit the rear with the lady that with Vendetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, Temperance is gonna ask Raven, do you want to be in front of me or in back?
As long as I can just,
shoulders.
yeah, I can hold on because I can't see myself right now.
All right, just
I'm
grab my
looking
belt.
Yep.
And I'll move into the hallway.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
do
sticking
you want-
behind Fenix Sheely for in case he wants me to like scout ahead.
Should I be moving this Vendetta or?
I'll give everybody control over in a second. I have a
no
portion of
problem.
the map ready to reveal once you move forward, though.
Okay.
Okay. And yes, Bonus Mom, if you could take care of moving her, that would be fantastic. You should be able to do that now. Yeah, and as soon as you step out into the hall, all of you can hear the grunts of battle.
Do you want me to try and stealth through the water, Phoenix, to see if I can see round that corner up ahead?
Yeah, I think Cleo's already on it.
Oh, it's clear on it. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine.
Okay.
I have a very small screen. I am not a multi-screener. You have to give me going back and forth.
No, that's fine. I hadn't seen her on the map. I missed her because I had it zoomed in.
Well, I would be staying as
Okay,
close
as
to everybody
you-
as I could. Okay, so
Yeah. As Cleo turns the corner, you see two people. One of them is a enormous brick of a man, huge, 7 foot tall, maybe. And enormous. And if you give me just a second, I will pop him in the chat. Although I will not add his name yet. Maybe. That's not being very cooperative. All right. And the other person is in very ornate robes, and the most clear feature about him is the fact that he has no head or face, just a skull where that should be. They are obviously fighting. You can see the bodies of 3 dead people around the big man, and he is turned with this enormous great club, looking back at this. They seem to be talking, although you can't hear exactly what.
Okay, I relay that to everybody. Is there the big man? Does he look more like he's an adventurer like us as compared to Skeletor?
I mean, he looks like a human, obviously. He is very much a human and isn't in, like, priestly garb or anything. He just seems to be in...
Okay.
Again, he is exactly as pictured, so if you click on him...
Yeah. Then I will tell them that there seems to be a very large man fighting yet another skeleton-looking thing.
Well, I've heard it said you should never interrupt your enemies while they're making a mistake. It's bad manners.
I like that saying.
There are also 3 dead bodies, so his party is down.
The 3 dead bodies are in cult gear.
Oh! I retract that. Cleo had a bit of poo in her eye.
Rip.
There are
Not
3
unlikely.
dead cultists floating in the water.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I had just assumed that they were cultists and that the big hammer guy had just killed them and was turning to deal with it, so I'm glad my assumption was correct.
Should we get closer to see if we can hear what they're saying?
Yeah, I think maybe we just
Can
post
I
up and let them
hear?
fight.
Not very well. So
Do
I will go ahead and
hear, or
read
is it
the
just
flavor
sight?
text as we go here. Beyond the hall, a flooded chamber opens up with rough-hewn steps climbing south, north, and northeast. The floor buckles up above the water, and in the middle of the room, forming a small island, corpses and doused torches float in the water around the island, atop which 2 men circle each other with weapons bared. One of the men, a tall, unarmored brute with a great club and a scarred face, towers above his opponent, but is gravely wounded. The small figure is muscular and bare-chested. He clutches a bloody dagger in one hand and a torch in the other, and has no flesh covering his skull. So I'll let you all decide whether you are intervening or not. However, someone's going to be fighting.
I think we should just let them kill each other.
But what if the big guy is a good guy and he's pretty injured?
I continue sending Cleo to the big guy and cast healing word through her.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. As he goes, what the hell?
And that is 5 whole points of healing.
Okay, I'm going to have everybody roll initiative. Even if you are not participating, I need to know that. So everybody roll initiative one way or another.
I would be up there with everybody, but there's somebody stuck back here in the back. Do you want to be here, or do you want to be up with everybody else? Well, I don't know who it is.
Raven.
Raven.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm coming.
up.
I'm getting her.
Yeah. I know you were focused on the other. Yeah.
Where is... Okay, there's Tempe.
Okay. So now you're
Okay.
saying roll initiative?
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiatives, and you don't have to call your rolls now, as I will go through them in a second here. Okay, just waiting on Phoenix and Bonnie.
It did that thing again where it's only sent it to me. I rolled a nat 1, so that's a 3 all day.
Beautiful. Okay, so I have an 18 for Neil.
Yeah, that's correct.
16 for Raven.
Yes.
22 for Temperance.
Yep.
3 for Phoenix.
Yep.
10 for Bonnie.
Yes, and is the other gal moving on my movement is her?
You
her
will, but
turn?
she's not going to participate, so it doesn't
Right.
matter.
Well, we just don't want to lose track of her, though. That's why I was
Gotcha.
saying movement.
Yep. Okay. Well, Temperance, you are up first.
I think that...
This is still difficult terrain, don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, it'll take us hours to get around.
Yeah, I know, right? I think then... stop, go away. God bless it. There we go. Sorry, I'm clicking too many things and it's being annoying. So Temperance wouldn't actually move because Raven's still holding on to her, looking through Cleo. But she would ready. She'd probably ready a sacred flame for when
Okay.
she can see the skull guy.
Okay, that's fine. So go ahead and take your movement. You could also dash. Just take a dash action and move your 6 squares.
Well, I don't think she would move because Raven's still holding onto her.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you're holding. Well, okay, that's fine.
I might just swing around so I've got a clear path past the skeletons. But
Okay.
If she, warns Raven, Raven can drop sight on the next turn.
okay, I guess she'll do that then.
Okay. All right. It is now the mysterious man's turn. Can you remind me how much you healed him for?
5.
Okay. Okay. It is his turn, and he is going to make a multi-attack on this guy. First attack, 21 to hit, will hit. I should move him forward, too. Okay. And he will do... 14 damage with his first attack. And second attack will hit. Oh, no, will not hit. That's a 10. That will not hit. Okay, Neil, it is your turn.
Okay. Knowing that it's going to take Phoenix a little bit of time to get in there because of the difficult terrain, I'm gonna kind of lean forward to Phoenix and say, I can end this whenever you want me to, but I'm gonna make you a little bit lighter to be able to run faster, and I adjust his density to make him like half weight.
Yeah,
which
will make you float at this point.
It gives you an extra 10 feet of movement. You can jump twice as far as normal, but you do have disadvantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Which is why I want to make it clear that he's happy to end it whenever you tell him to.
Okay.
And that lasts for 1 minute total. So 10 rounds.
All right, and movement?
I'm gonna take have a look. So I can yeah, so I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15 to kind of be in line with Temperance. Assumably she can still see over the top of my head.
Yep.
So
Did the skeletons go on your turn?
They do.
I don't know. So do they
They
have
will
their
go
own?
after your turn, yes. They go after your turn.
So I can freely ask them to do what I want them to do.
Bonus action to give them a command other than follow you and take the dodge action.
Okay, so bonus action, how much movement do they have?
30 foot. They're regular skeletons if you want to add a skeleton as an extra.
Okay, manage extras.
Yep. 30 foot of movement, like 11 HP, I think. Something like that. If they have exactly 11 HP, tell me, because I would be very proud of myself.
Skeleton. Oh, if I can spell.
I do recommend that.
Skeleton. Medium undead, yeah. That's correct. 13 hit points.
Damn it, I was so close. Anyway, yes, you feel free to move them. They have 30 foot of movement, so if they dash, they'll take that 30 foot.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to basically tell them to like head towards Skull Guy. So that'll be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There we
go. Okay. All right. That will move us to Raven.
Is it rough terrain or?
Yes, difficult.
So it's 15.
Mm-hmm. Unless you take an action to dash. Or if you have a swim speed.
Don't think I have a swim speed.
You would probably know if you did.
Yeah, I will go ahead and take my action to dash so I can get up.
And you're looking for
Let
your
it
own
fight.
eyes now, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. All right. It is now this man's turn. And he is going to make 2 attacks against the mysterious figure. An 8, which misses. Nah. And a 23, which definitely hits. Okay. But before he does that, he's going to stare directly into his soul.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Oh, okay, never mind.
For anyone involved.
Yeah, okay, well, hold on, as he... Yeah, so he actually is rolling at advantage. So that's a 23 to hit, and a 25 to hit, yeah, 2 attacks. So you watch as he stabs directly into him and takes an ungodly... It looks like it hurt him way more than he should have. So, yeah. And then the second one... Yeah, he's gonna turn and stab him a second time, and he is swooning. He looks barely alive. Bonnie.
Okay, Bonnie, of course, can't see any of that. She's going to say to Vendetta, follow me, but stay safe. And not having any idea what's going on up there, she is going to race up beside Phoenix. She is not going to dash. And she is going to cast guidance on Phoenix, just being sure that Phoenix is about to deal with something.
You got it.
So she casts guidance. Which, Phoenix, you know more about guidance than I do, right?
Yeah, it's
D4.
D4 to an ability
D4 to
check.
ability check, yeah. It's not a lot, but it's something.
All right, so that is movement and action. I don't think you have a bonus action that you would need to do, so Phoenix.
Okay, well, here goes. 5, 10.
I'll go ahead and say
15,
with this
20.
lightened weight, you are able to kind of skip through the water and not have difficult terrain.
Okay, cool. I do, as I'm going, I don't know if this would take an action or not, I want to just, what's the to me, both of these people seem like people I don't want to win, just on initial first impression. And this is a little random, and I don't know if Phoenix would notice this. Just looking at the picture of the guy with the big club, he has some sort of, symbol on his chest. Does Phoenix clock or recognize that as he's running in?
I will allow... That would take... Okay. So, basically, here's how this works, right?
Okay.
So, you can use your passive for free. For passive, any skill you could always use for free.
Right.
And otherwise, it's going to take you an action to try to look and think about it, see if you can retrieve that memory.
Does my guidance add anything to
Yeah, I'm gonna
guide.
take the action to do it.
I would even say that guidance could add to a passive as well, if you would like for it to, because that would still count.
Oh, well then, yeah, for sure. I'll do that.
Okay.
So my passive is 13, so I'll just custom roll a d4 here. That's a 4. So what's a 17 get me here?
You do recognize that. So, ironically enough,
okay, great.
You recognize that as the family crest of the Vanthaper family, one of the ruling families of the city.
Okay, that's weird. But
and
that makes me think he's not a cultist.
The name of Miss Thalmara Vanthaper,
who owned the thing above. Interesting. Okay, that does complicate it for me. But the one guy looks like he's almost dead, and the other guy doesn't. So I guess. All right.
Yeah, the other guy looks totally. Well, I mean, he's only been harmed as much as he has with the 2 hits.
Okay, so with using my passive, I still have my action, so I am gonna run the full 60 feet into the room. And this might be a bad idea. I think I'm gonna go ahead and bonus action rage because
Okay,
it won't end until the
start
end
of
of
your turn.
it. Won't. Well, it wouldn't end until the end of my next turn.
Oh, okay.
It says your rage ends early if you are knocked unconscious or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked the hostile creature. So if I can get to them and attack in the next turn, then it'll stay out.
Yeah.
So, all
You got it.
right, that's it
Okay.
for me.
All right. Brings us to the top with Temperance.
All right. Temperance is gonna take a few more steps forward, and let me make sure I can reach. Let me see.
Just a quick one, just before we move on. Don't forget, you've got an extra 10 feet of movement,
Oh shoot! Yes, thank you. So
you can
Then
get.
that would-
and that would have been 20
right
feet
up
because
to
I
here.
dashed. Yeah. 5, 10, 15. Whew. So
Sorry,
Phoenix is
apologies.
just
No,
like
it's fine. It's
swooping
good.
along.
So just-
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I totally
Almost
forgot that.
literally skipping across the water.
Oh,
It's
you know
kinda
what though? My
bobbing, as a
normal
matter of
speed is
fact.
only 25. Right? So I think I need to come back 10 more feet.
10,
Okay, it's
yeah.
right there. So that's where we really are.
Perfect.
We'll get there at the end.
Maths.
You got it.
Hey, math is hard. All right. So Temperance is going to aim a guiding bolt at the Skeletor guy.
Okay. Roll to hit. Should be within range, no problem.
Yeah. That's a natural 20 for 25.
Ooh, disgusting. Roll
On a
damage.
guiding bolt? Oh,
You just did a fireball worth of damage on
oh
this
and
man.
we're using
Yeah.
custom crit rules. Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, it's gonna be disgusting. It's basically. So hold on. What's 6 times 4? Someone better.
24?
24.
So
That's
24. So
24.
that's 44 points of damage you just did.
yeah.
So you watch as.
Wait, did you roll damage?
I didn't roll damage though.
Oh, I saw the
'Cause
nat
it's-
20. My bad.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's 24
it's-
plus whatever you roll.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna roll a custom roll because it's being weird in D&D Beyond. So 24 plus 17.
Okay, so which so 41.
Okay, yeah.
So
Who did you aim-
Go
At
on.
the Skeletor guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So you turn, and what do you say as you unleash this guiding bolt? Like, what do you say? What do you do?
I don't think I say anything. I think she just literally pushes her hands forward and a beam of light goes
Yeah.
flying.
And you know, it's interesting what Bonnie had said earlier about her guiding bolt looking like fire, because this does too. The red stream of fire streaks across in a almost solid beam and lands on this guy, hitting him nastily, staggering him for a moment. And he turns to look, and I can't say that you, like, actually can read his face because, you know...
He doesn't
He
have a
doesn't
face.
have a face.
Uh-huh. But if a skeleton could look pissed. So...
Glad I cast mage armor at the beginning of the day.
Mhm.
Probably a good idea. Yeah.
All right.
And it lasts for like 8 hours or something.
All right.
so.
You have movement and bonus action if you'd like.
I already did my movement, and I don't think I have any bonus actions. Nope, I do not.
Okay. It is now the man's turn. He is going to make 2 attacks, first of which at advantage. Oh, I rolled the wrong thing. Let's try again. At advantage. All right, good thing I rolled advantage. A 17 will hit. And he is going to do 13 with the first attack. And second attack, not an advantage this time. Still gonna hit with a 23. And you are gonna watch as he takes his great club overhand and smashes it down on this guy. And you watch him crumble. And I think that's where we're gonna end the session.
Wait, who crumbled? Who crumbled? I missed
skull.
it.
Skull man.
The skull.
The skeleton
Sweet.
guy. Dun, dun, dun.
So
I haven't written as Skeletor in my notes.
there you go. All right. With that, again, we'll take care of the fallout of that next time, and you can also all advance to level 3.
We're already
You
level
level
3.
We are level 3.
To level 4.
Yay!
Yay!
There you go. Sorry, I forgot it was supposed to be level 3 in the original version, but I don't know how you survive this without that.
Is there a clue in that? If we're leveling up, we must not have to kill the other guy.
I don't know.
Or else we need it so we can kill the other guy.
All right.
That
Well,
was
he looks on the
awesome.
brink of death, so.
Well, folks, thank you all for watching. We're going to go remind everybody who we are and where can we be found on the internet, and look and see if there's anybody we can go raid. So I'll just go ahead and get us started, folks. My name is Pixel. I played Phoenix Brightgrin, Shouty Yelly Man, and Cat Herder, and Tight Ass. Today, you can also find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/HammerandPixel, where I play games, notably a lot of Elden Ring lately, getting ready for that DLC. And that's it. That's me.
Bonus Mom.
I am Bonus Mom, and I played a Bonnie Mama, and I have been able to slide out from under the bus as I sort of surreptitiously pushed Neil right back under it. And I do TikTok live streams most Monday through Fridays from about 9 in the morning Eastern time to about 11 a.m. Eastern time. I will very soon be here on late Friday nights, I think, picking up Curse of Strahd on Ages of Ainur as we finish that adventure. And in addition to that, I have been joining Pixel in playing Elden Ring and having the time of my life, and hope to be playing it again tomorrow afternoon, maybe later in the afternoon, possibly with my grandson. Also, real family affair. Elden Ring brings families together.
Okay. Let's go with McReese.
Hi guys, I was McReese. I am McReese. I played Raven LaFey tonight for half the night, and thanks Robbie for playing her. I got here.
Thank you. All right, Cam.
I am Cam, or Noramark, as most of you know me. I have played the one and only Neil Boggs, Goblin Wizard, today, creating lots of mischief and mishaps as per usual. You can find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/no_remark, and you will find me over in Bonus Mom's Tavern most of the time, doing all sorts of different things. So check it out, and thanks for being here tonight.
Haley.
I am Christy, or Kaylee, and I play Temperance, the Air Genasi sorcerer. And you can find me over at Reality Break 20 on Twitch, which is another D&D stream. We stream Tuesday nights starting at 8 p.m. We're doing a series of one-shots right now, wrapping up one on Tuesday, and then the next week I will actually be DMing for the first time ever. So that's going to be exciting. And I'm also on TikTok, Kaylee1999, where I talk about books a lot.
And I am Robbie, or DocRobert. You can find me in Bonus Mom's Tavern, and I have been your DM for the day. Pixel, if you want to take us out.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you all so much for watching this absolutely crazy stuff we do on now Saturday nights. A reminder that you can see it on YouTube after the fact. Should be going up on Wednesday. We are going to, at the suggestion of Normark, be raiding 10 rabid bears. They are playing D&D, and they look like they are using Tailspire, which is like a 3D
Cool.
sort of virtual tabletop. Very cool stuff. Also, it seems to be their affiliate
Their affiliate anniversary.
Yeah. So
that's
we're
cool.
going to send them the AOA Bonus Mom's Tavern love. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, be nicer to yourself. Just do it, please. For me, I ask nicely. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you later. Peace out.
Bye.
I'm gonna find out how to get out.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was rent shall be restored. What was lost now shall be found. The price of